Welcome to the Miami Heat Zone podcast, guys. We are live again. Make sure as you guys are coming in, you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you guys hit that share button. Also, to make sure that you guys head over to Amir's channel, to Ernest, to Trent. Make sure that you guys go to their channels, hit that subscribe button. Those are my guys over there. You know, we always do Miami Heat content. Tonight, we're gonna have a few guys join the stream. Also, too, when they join, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button on their channel. The link will be right in the chat. Whoever wants to come on, you guys are more than welcome to come on the chat. Come on the panel, in the chat room, whatever you guys want. We have 3 people so far in the building. Link is in the chat if you guys want to come up and speak about the Miami Heat, what's going on right now with Khalil Ware, Bam Adebayo with Team USA, the overall Miami Heat roster, all that good stuff. All right. Like I said, we're going to have a few people on from – we're going to have Dayo. What's up? What's up, Trace Scott? Bro, Trace, come on up, my man. Hit the link, bro. What's good, brother? Salute, Diesel, bro. Hit the link, bro. Y'all boys come up on the stream, man. You guys come up on the stream. What's good, bro? What's good? We got Diesel in the building. We got Trace in the building. Loyal Miami Heat fans. Once again, we're going to have a few guys shortly come on up with the panel as well. Make sure that if you guys want to come on, hit the link. Come on, let's go. Let's talk some Miami Heat hoops, current status, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero. First time on, like it. Hey, bro, hit the link. If it's your first time on, hit the link. I appreciate the support. We're pushing a 5K. Make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button as you guys are coming in. Once again, we're going to have a few people join us in a few. If you've never been on the show before, I think this is my 4th or 5th live. Guys, you guys are more than welcome to come on. Come on the stream. Tell me your thoughts about the Miami Heat. We got 13 people in the building. Make sure that you guys come in. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for all the support. You guys are a bunch of loyal Miami Heat fans. I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. We are pushing a 5K right now. Let's see how many subscribers we're at. We're at 4,294 subs. Guys, hit that subscribe button. And once again, thank you guys for all the support. Let's see. Let's see who's coming up on the stream. Boom. All right. So we're going to have 2 guys from Off Ball Takes, Yarby Laws. Go, make sure that you guys head over to their channel. Hit that subscribe button. They should be in here. And he said, great platform. Keep up the good work. No, but listen, Diesel, man, I appreciate the support. I appreciate it. Now, also, too, let me know in the comments, who do you guys want to see on the show next? Me and the guys were trying to gather up different, Miami Heat content creators. Good answer. Martel, watching from, hey, my dog from the Philippines. Bro, how come you don't come on the stream, bro? The fact that you watch all the way from the Philippines is, bro, that's crazy to me. The fact that you two can, make these connections like that all the way from the Philippines, that's wild to me. Thank you guys for all the support. Make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button. Boom, we got Christopher in the building. Yo.
What's up?
Yeah, man, Christopher, what's good from Off Ball Takes? Make sure that you guys go to their channel. Make sure you go to their channel and hit that subscribe button. Once Yarby gets in, I think he's okay. Yo.
Yay, what's happening?
What's up, brother?
Hey, I'm here, West Palm Beach, right up the street, Miami Heat. Let's talk, baby.
Let's talk, man. Let's talk. So listen, I got my boy Chris from Off Ball Takes. He's one of the hosts from his show.
All right.
So one thing that I want to talk about, what do you guys think about Bam Adebayo and what he's doing in the Olympics right now? Because, especially how you see him playing with real NBA talent, what do you guys think about his game with his three-point shooting, his versatility, his defense with AD?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll kind of, start it off. I mean, I think he's kind of showing everybody just, how improved he is as an offensive player. Because that's really, I guess if you want to give him a knock or anything, that's kind of just one of the issues is just, can he space the floor? But he's kind of showing, like you said, when he's playing with some of the other best players in the world, right, you can kind of see all of his strengths, even on the defensive end, right, where it's not just, like him on the back end having to kind of cover up for everybody else. There's actually some other really talented defenders, around him. And if he can continue to space the floor and kind of be a threat, from all the way out there, then that opens up all the other aspects of his game, dribble handoffs, the one-on-one ISO scoring and things like that. So it's really cool to see. And we kind of talked about it on our podcast where it seems like he's kind of, of the non-older guys on Team USA, the guy that's kind of showing everybody what he can do, and seems like he might be the next one to take a big leap this year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think with the addition of Ware, that's going to be great for him. And he gets to actually, he came in as a defensive player, but the Heat coach has given him an offensive game that everybody on the USA team looks like they're respecting now. And he's earned the right to be mentioned. And I'm just loving our acquisitions, man, as far as from the G League. I mean, we got to have some tough decisions. I see at least 4 guys. This is crazy. Pat Riley wins again, saving that money.
I'm telling you right now, you know how mad the NBA is that we got Khalil Ware? Now, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, but he could be like another Orlando Robinson. How? First of all, this guy was drafted. You know what I mean? He was drafted. And to me, I think he has the skill set and the talent. I mean, you can let us know like what you think about it, too, Yarby, but the skill set and the talent is there. I just think he needs to put on the size.
Yeah, I mean, with Khalil Ware, I think you have to look around at the entire draft class as a whole, with the center specifically. You look at Zach Edey, you look at Sarr as well. And he's clearly the most ready guy. Sarr is more of a project. You look at Khalil Ware and what he's able to do with a small sample size, though. But it is Summer League. We do have to keep that in mind. But at the end of the day, you can't hate on it. He's been putting up massive numbers. You can see the impact. He's going to be a great fit beside Bam. I think that's kind of the expectation that everybody has about him. And he's got the frame. I think it's just a matter of work ethic, keep on playing, and, he can get better for sure. Because I think, even if he can space the floor alongside Bam, I think that's awesome for Miami Heat.
So in terms of, Tyler Hero, there's a lot of things going on right now in terms of, running it back. So, what's like a projected starting lineup? Because, right now we have Jaime, Terry Rozier, he's coming back healthy. So even though we're running it back, we're really seeing it for a larger sample size in terms of Terry, Tyler, Jimmy, and Bam, because we do have 4 20-point per game scorers, but we've never been able to see it actually flourish on the court. So, what's like your projected starting lineup, especially how people want Ware to start, people want Haywood Heisman to start, which he's another sleeper as well. Anyone can take it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in terms of the starting 5, yeah, like you said, those 4 main guys are the guys that are, kind of locked in. And then after that, it's kind of who do you want at the 4? Do you want Ware at the 4 is sort of like another, big to kind of play alongside Bam, and then they can kind of take turns. One guards the rim, and then the other can kind of switch around, which would mainly be Bam because he's the more switchable big. Do you kind of just go with Jovic, which is what they were doing, for a decent chunk of last year because he's, kind of a 4 that can also space the floor, right? As opposed to Ware that's kind of like more of a 5. Or do they kind of just take like a Zag and sort of just, put like Jaquez and Butler out there? Because I mean, Jaquez was the first round pick from the previous year, right? So there's a lot of different options that you can go. Maybe they might change it up depending on the matchup, but it feels like it's probably either going to be Jaquez or Jovic again, just because with Ware, I don't know if he's necessarily going to start as a rookie, but I think he'll get a lot of opportunities, to kind of show what he can do out there, either with or without Bam.
I think with having that guy Ware is he's a rim protector no matter how much weight he has on his butt. He gives me the mindset of uh you remember y'all guys remember from the Mavs, what his name? Tyson Chandler. He reminds me of Tyson Chandler. He never ever came up with any weight, but he has so much help side defense to whoever's not really true around the perimeter playing defense, which we can actually start dunking and have that 20-point spark plug off the bench because when you have too much fire offensively on the starting 5, it doesn't gel. You actually have to, mix it, adding by subtraction. So how weak Duncan, which he has improved on defense, where will help him out. He's gonna actually help out my guy Hero as well, but Hero got offense on his mind, dribble, pat, 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 and that kind of messed it up a lot. One thing about Duncan, he don't got to do dribble; he just come off that pick and then let it fly.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because In my opinion, I think Miami Heat, they're probably going to borrow from a couple of teams. Number one is going to be Dallas Mavericks. So I think they're going to start, Kello Ware in a similar role that kind of Derek Lively had last year in the playoffs and things like
lob
that.
guy,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he's going to be like a lob threat. And also, if he can space the floor, that helps as well. I think we all know that Bam can flourish and be maybe even better player at the 4 than the 5. And then obviously, I think Tyler Hero coming off the bench in a similar role to maybe Jordan Poole and how he did when the Warriors won the title. I think borrowing from those kind of models will help you guys out a ton. As for the starting point guard, I'd probably go with Terry. I think that kind of just makes the most sense. For the 2 guard, Jimmy, I think probably the 3, Jovic, Bam, and then Ware. I don't know. That would kind of be my starting lineup for you guys.
It's so much. It's so
you
much.
Have options.
Best op. It's going to be hard to keep JJ out of that starting lineup as well. Triple J.
True.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah, he's going to take a leap.
But have you guys been watching Kashad Johnson? Because he's been phenomenal.
Yeah, me too.
Because he's another guy that people aren't talking about, and they were actually comparing him to Andre Iguodala.
Yeah,
and I kind of see the same kind of skill set. But just like another big question for you guys: do you guys think that Bam Adebayo is an all-star? Because when you really like in terms of a top 10 player, like in terms of because people were trying to tell me, oh well, he's not a superstar. How can he not be a superstar in terms of listen, I already see you. Listen, I see you. But look, when you look across the NBA, right? Look at what he's doing with supreme talent. He's anchoring a defense pretty much by himself. Because think about it, we had out of shape and overweight eating burgers and shakes Kyle Lowry. Tyler Hero misses 40 games.
You can say that anytime you want.
Exactly. Jimmy Butler is in and out of the lineup, and a 6'4", 6'5" power forward. You see what I'm saying? A 6'4", 6'5" power forward. So mind you, we're having a top 5, top 10 defense throughout these past few years, and who's anchoring it? Because without Bam Adebayo, you can argue that we have no defense, along with him dropping 20 and 10.
Yeah.
But then you also look at all these other teams where, prime example, like Rudy Gobert, he has Cat, he has Anthony Edwards. You look at the Boston Celtics, they got Derek White, they got Drew Holiday. Bam Adebayo has Max Strus and Drew Smith and Gabe Vincent. How is he not a superstar? You guys see him with supreme talent.
Yeah,
we've never seen him with supreme talent.
Yeah, the one thing about Bam is able to stick defensively 1 through 5. And a lot of people can't say that, and he really can. And I think the point is I don't know, I've been hearing a lot of conspiracy about what kind of shoes these guys wear or whatever. But he must be wearing the wrong kind of shoes, because he's supposed to be defensive player at least one time. He can actually lock up your point guard if we had to. You know what I mean? But I don't want to get off this subject, but I'm still kind of butthurt. I wanted to get Paul George. I'm sorry.
Really?
I really did, man, because one thing about Paul George, he will play defense. That's one thing about the Heat coach. You got to get somebody that's willing to play defense. Lately, we've been getting guys, we trying to teach them to play defense. Paul George, and he got a bag, man. He got so much. He's more like Kyrie with the finish bag. You know what I'm saying? He got a bag, man.
Yeah.
Man, I hate and why is and then I don't want to add. I want to keep adding. There's a lot of things on my mind. How in the hell Philly and stuff and teams like that and Milwaukee always come up with the money? We act like we don't want to spend nothing. But
no. Do you know why? And then let them go. The Miami Heat are paying the wrong 5 guys. So what I mean by that is Jimmy and Bam are cool. But remember, we built Duncan Robinson. Why would they give him $90 million after the bubble? And we built him. Listen, he should be grateful for 20 or 50 million.
Yeah, I think he would have been.
It's true.
Look what we was gonna play. Look what we was gonna pay Caleb Martin.
$65 million coming off of a down year.
Hey, but
and then also what? Too,
the kid we got, what's his name? Christopher.
Christopher.
He's nice, and that guy Keyshawn Johnson, nice. So Martin, he's gone in the wind. Bye, son.
Yeah. But then also too, Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero was injured, and we gave him 120. You know that he was making more money than Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, he make a lot.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
gonna always. It's always gonna be Ish. I think Pat think that's his damn grandson or something, man.
Yeah. And that's the problem with paying Tyler Hero a contract like that is like once you try to move him, it's a lot
It's
tougher to
hard.
move him now that
Yeah,
he's making 30 million a year instead of making, like 12 or 15.
and
And we don't
I
want to deal
see
with that.
I see why Jimmy kind of pissing a fit a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Davey, what's up? Yo, what's up, bro?
What's going on, man?
So Chris and Yarby, is Bam Adebayo a superstar? I know that Davey, he's kind of shaky with it, but I don't. But look, hold on, Davey, just real quick, just a quick summary. Bam Adebayo has Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. Okay, I think that's enough right there, and he's anchoring a top 5 worst top 10 defense in the NBA by himself. But go ahead, Chris and Yarby, and then we'll get to Davey.
Yeah, I'll let Yarby take it first since he was the one kind of smiling and
Bro,
about it when you first asked it.
I don't think he's necessarily a superstar. I'll say he's on his way there, if that makes sense. Where every single year he's been in the league, he's gotten tremendously better, exponentially better. I think the one thing holding him back, if you want me to be real, number one, obviously the teams that have been constructed around him. I don't think that's helped. Number two, probably the 3-point shot. I feel like it has to be serviceable, a little bit more serviceable than it has been in the previous years. And we were kind of seeing hints of that with the Olympics and whatnot. And I feel like just playing him at the 4 is going to accelerate his development even more. So that's kind of how I feel about it. He's well on his way, though. That's not a slight. He's right there.
Right. And that's kind of what we were talking about before with the Team USA, where it's like you kind of watch him and you see that he's a guy that's kind of taken a leap, in terms of he's one of the biggest standouts on the team. And a lot of times when you look back, a lot of these Team USA guys, the next season, they end up having big years or career years. And so once he gets to that point,
that's the old
right?
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And once he gets to that point, plus like what Yarby said, when you build, a better roster around him where it's more about how do we fit around him versus say like a Jimmy Butler, then that's where you can get the best of both worlds because then everything's easier for him. Everything's easier for everyone else. And then that's probably whatever the best version of the team is at this point, just because of Butler's age, right? It's a lot harder to build around him since he's, 35.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you want me to chime in now.
Yes, but first shout out like your channel first. First shout out your channel.
Okay, so my channel is Dave's Doghouse. That's kind of sort of what you see underneath my name. Basically, I do highlights and lowlights of everything in sports. And I'm also a part of another show called Refuse to Lose Sports. It's actually a network, but we have a show called Refuse to Lose Sports. If I go off camera, you'll kind of see the logo. So you can search that in YouTube.
Okay.
I do that with two of my brothers. So we pretty much do it like if you watch First Things First and Undisputed and stuff like that, we kind of formulate it like that a little bit where there's some debates, but some is not. So, we definitely have fun there.
Support you. I'll be over there.
But when it comes to Bam being a superstar, it's kind of like I said the other night. He's not a superstar right now. What I see as a superstar is someone who can lead a team, being the guy, leading them to a championship, leading them to conference finals, leading them to victories in the playoffs. And Bam has not had that opportunity to say that he's that right now. When Bam was, I guess, becoming a star, that's when we had Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was the guy. And right now, Jimmy Butler's still here. And as long as he's still here, he's the guy until we see a Bam that's able to take over. And that's him playing at the 4. The best thing about this draft is we were allowed to draft a guy who allows Bam to play the 4. The only thing is, what is the rotations going to be to begin the season? Is it going to be Bam still at the 5, or is Spo going to do something he's never done before and allow a rookie to start first game of the season? He normally doesn't do that. The last rookie to start from beginning was Justice Winslow.
Wow, you went back.
And how good was Justice Winslow? Let's be honest. He was a really good defender, but he was shaky on offense. And then other than that, the only other person that really got to start early was Tyler Hero, and that was because we needed him to start. We had injuries. I think we had Andre Iguodala there. We had Jay Crowder. We didn't have any stars for real. We just had guys who were names. And Jay Crowder isn't even really a name. He's just known for defense, honestly. But Iggy was a champion, and he became a champion again once he left and went back to Golden State. But Bam is he's not a superstar right now. That's not saying that he can't be, because he surely can. He just has to be given the opportunity to. We don't have the roster around him to be able to do that. We've never had the roster around him to allow him to do that. The slightest chance we had of that is when we had PJ Tucker. But PJ Tucker is smaller than Bam, so he's not going to play the center. And then, I mean, we haven't had the roster that we've needed to be able to allow. I think the roster we have now, if given the opportunity for Khalil Ware to start, will allow him to do that. Because then, and I really think we need to do something about Drew Smith. I really don't understand why he's on the roster. I don't get it. I don't know what Pat Riley and them guys were thinking about giving him another contract, because what has he shown that he deserves to be on this team? Not saying he doesn't deserve to be in the NBA, but what does he deserve to be on this team? A team that wants to win the championship, a team that needs someone to come off the bench and play some good big minutes and replace guys like Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent and Kendrick Nunn and Max Strus, the guys that we've lost, and DeLon Wright, who we only had for half a season last year, and he was really good defensively, but we need that. If Terry Rozier comes out healthy and plays his game, that's great, because he's a 20 to 25 point per game kind of a player.
Oh yeah.
We know he can ball out. And if Jimmy comes out playing like he said that he's going to play, that's going to be dangerous for everyone else, because then that means Jimmy's going to be putting up 25 to 30 points a game, because Jimmy's very capable of that. We've seen that in the playoffs multiple times since he's been here. And then if Khalil Ware is playing big minutes, so that's the number thing. He doesn't even have to start. Is he going to get big minutes? If he gets big minutes, then that'll also help Bam out, because I think more than likely, the starting lineup is going to be Bam, either Kevin Love or
Jovic.
or Jovic as well. Jovic may actually get that, but I think he's going to be on the bench to start the season because of his injury. I'm not sure how long that's going to be. But more than likely, I think Kevin Love will start. Then you got Jimmy at the 3, and more than likely Tyler Hero is going to be at the 2, and Terry Rozier at the 1. That lineup is not going to allow Bam to be himself, because Kevin Love is pretty much older and he's not as dominant as he used to be. So Bam can become a superstar. He definitely has the potential. Like he said, with the playing with Team USA, it's going to help him out tremendously. Look at what it did for Ant. Ant was a Team USA last year, and look at the season he had. He led his team all the way to the Western Conference Finals. So it's possible. And then Devin Booker was there before. Then he went to the finals with Phoenix. The Olympics help out a lot of players, because now you're playing with the guys that are the ones that people look at in the NBA. You're playing with Steph, KD. You get to learn from these champions something that you're looking for. You're trying to grasp. What you want to get. You want to become that leader, become that superstar. And now you're around those superstars, so it helps you. And plus, he's playing with guys who kind of sort of play like Khalil Ware. You got AD and Joel Embiid. Those guys can play in the post and shoot from the outside. Now, Khalil Ware is not as polished as a shooter as those guys are, but we see that he has that potential, and he's great defensively. So that will allow Bam to be a superstar if Khalil Ware either starts or plays big minutes.
So then, Chris, where do the Miami Heat stack up in the East? I mean, we have the Boston Celtics. They're not going anywhere, even though, listen, Yarby, once again, they had that cupcake run. And we'll get to that other, scenario that me and you talked about, the other day. Because, Davey, this man right here, Yarby, thinks that Jayson, if you switch Tatum and Jimmy, that Tatum could have done what Jimmy did with that Miami Heat roster with Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. But we'll get to that in a minute. Where do the Miami Heat stack up, like in this Eastern Conference? Like I said, the Boston Celtics, they're not going anywhere. The Milwaukee Bucks, Dame and Giannis, they have something to prove. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, Donovan re-signing, I think that was a mistake in my opinion. When Jared Allen is saying that the lights are too bright, like in the playoffs, you got to go, my man. Darius Garland, he's too small. You know what I mean? So you have a small backcourt right there. So there's just a number of things. I mean, Cuts, you mentioned Paul George. He can never stay healthy. He'll be in the infirmary with Joel Embiid. So, so Chris, where do you see this Miami Heat team? Because people will count us out because we're running it back. But when you look across the East, the Boston Celtics won't have another chance to play, the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals again. So, where do we go from here, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a path to be, better than what they were last year. You got to get healthy, first off, because I know they had a lot of bad luck with injuries last year, right? Then you got to kind of, expect that your younger players take a leap, right? Bam included. I know he's not as young as the other guys, but, if he gets to that, superstar level, right, then that can also help. I mean, I guess the problem is that, if you're the Heat, how are you going to be able to challenge, those teams in the postseason? Because, they went to the finals in the past, right? But, you still need a little bit of fortune to go your way, just like Boston did, right? So I guess they could probably be, somewhere in that top 6. And especially, if they can have some better luck in terms of injury, I just feel like it may be a little bit tougher for them to make a finals run. Not that it's impossible, but it's just going to be difficult. Just because of the fact that some of these other teams that were already really good, they did improve. And I know,
plus the Knicks.
Plus the Knicks as well, right? So that's the issue right there. Did they get better enough, to be in that top 6, which it feels like you kind of have to be in. I know they, made the finals as a lower seed twice, but just with the way that the East is kind of looking, where it feels like there's some teams that are improving, it may be a lot more difficult to make it, as a lower seed. And the Pacers got there, but again, they had some injury fortune too. So that's what I'm thinking.
And then Cuts.
Well, I think we will probably be because of the hype. The one thing about the NBA, they're gonna sell tickets regardless or whatever. But because of the hype, we know that everybody on Boston's team is scared of Jimmy. For some way, I don't know what the hell Jimmy did to them guys, but he
Yarby
just
knows. But go ahead.
he really has he got his nuts in his gym shorts, man. He really does. But I think that I never believe in Milwaukee in the Sixers. Just like you say, no matter, I like Paul, but you're right. He loves to be on the infirmary table. He really does. Him and Big Boy. Big Boy. To be honest, JoJo shouldn't even be playing in the USA team right now. He should be
I
resting.
agree.
He should be
Falling
resting.
down and rolling around on the
Yeah.
floor and
Yeah, he should be resting up. And not trying to be biased and whatever, but the Heat are really, man, you talking about sleepers. We don't know how tall Jokic is going to come back and be. He came back on a 6'10" last year. He might be 6'11" this year. People don't really understand that. That man is still growing. We got him when he was 19. So that's a big plus for us, and we got a chance to get. Just think about this, guys. If you've been watching the G League, we got at least 4 guys. They don't even really have to have a G League contract. They could really get contracts. And we was talking about the kid. What's the kid that we keeping that we don't like him? Number 9.
Drew Smith.
Man, he can possibly get beat out. And one thing about organizations, like, you still hurt, right? You still nursing that injury, right? And yes, I am still. If you know, like I know, you better say yes, because we got some dogs coming in. And then nobody had mentioned that on the white kid Lasser. He's pretty good too. He's nice.
Oh,
And
Pele Larson.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
you
Larson.
see, Larson, excuse me, and then you actually see on your Donovan. Oh, did you? You got the dunk of the summer. And have him the same type of point guard playing behind Scary. Scary can do those type of things. They're the same type of point guard.
I like Isaiah Stevens a little bit more than a lot of women. I
I
think
haven't seen him yet. I haven't seen him.
Isaiah Stevens has that
He's
point guard
nice.
ability.
Okay, I'll
He's
check him
really
out.
good. He's really
I
good
got
at playmaking. I watched him in college. I'm a huge sports fan, so I pay attention to college. And
okay.
NBA.
Where is he from?
He played at Baylor, if I remember
Okay.
correctly.
Okay, I'll
Baylor
check him
or
out.
Baylor, Oregon. I can't remember the colors right now, but he was really
Uh,
good. He was
he's
really good in
nice.
college.
Okay.
So he has that. He
Drew
has
is
that.
gone.
He has it. He needs to be gone. He should have never
Yeah.
been here.
Yeah, he's gone. They know
So
his dad. They know his dad or something. Just like on Karan Butler, his son on there. We take care of our own. That's just how we do. They don't call it Heat coaching for nothing.
yeah, that's true.
So
Because we
Yarby,
was
go ahead.
gonna take Carter's son. You remember Anthony Carter?
Yes,
But
that. But
they
hey, but
stole
thank
him
God we
from him.
didn't, because he got the shoulder surgery anyway. So
Oh yeah,
we actually dodged the bullet with that one.
yeah. We probably knew that anyway, though. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Go ahead, Yarby.
And the question is, where do I think the Heat will finish this season?
Yeah, where do we stack up like in the Eastern Conference? Like I know
Okay.
that a lot of teams have made upgrades, but I still think that we have a decent puncher's chance. I mean, because even like with Jaime Jaquez Jr., the fact that they said that he was one of the best guys on the select team playing with Team USA, I think that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, you can never count them out. That's what I will say. My number one problem is y'all don't take the regular season very seriously. I think we all know that. We all know that. Y'all show up in the playoffs. You show up in the playoffs when you need to. The problem with the regular season is sometimes a circus show, in terms of whether it be health, other things, come into play as well. But I would probably say 6 or 7 seed, if you want me to be real, because I think there are some teams that will be taking a leap. I think you have to watch out for Orlando. There are some frauds in the East, like you're talking about. I think, Milwaukee's a fraud, in my opinion. But, yeah, I'd probably go with like 6 or 7.
Kyle, go ahead.
Mentality.
Where do the Miami Heat stack up in the East?
I was gonna say anywhere from 4 to 8. I don't think they go lower than 8. One, it's Spo. He's not. Again, I think I've said this before. He's not gonna coach his guys to lose. So that's one big thing. He's not one of those guys who's gonna throw the towel in. Whatever roster he has, that's what he's gonna go to war with, and he's gonna try to put them in their best positions. I mean, if you mentioned Gabe Vincent, you mentioned Max Strus. I think Max has a little more upside as far as his ability to play on the court with Cleveland. But you saw with Gabe, the Lakers couldn't use him properly. The best thing Spo does is hide players' weaknesses. And so I would say 4 to 8 because he's going to coach these guys up. One, Boston got a nice – I don't want to take away anything from their ring, but they got a nice little run.
Cupcake run.
Yeah, they got a nice little run.
Hold on, Kyle, not to cut you off.
Is Yarby a Boston Celtics fan?
Surprisingly, no. He's a Wizards fan.
Do you live in the city?
What, DC or Boston?
DC.
Yeah.
We gotta link up. I live in DC, right? I live in DC too.
Okay. That's what's up.
My question now, not to cut you off, Kyle. Did the Boston Celtics have a cupcake run? 1, and 2, if you switch Tatum and Jimmy, is Tatum doing the same thing that Jimmy Butler did with Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, and a rookie Tyler Hero? No Goran Dragic, no Bam Adebayo, out of shape and
I know what you're talking about. I get
Kyle Lowry.
Bubble year. That was bubble year.
No, just the whole run. If
I get
you
what
switch
you're saying.
Tatum and Jimmy, is Tatum doing exactly what Jimmy Butler did, taking this ragtag crew to the Eastern Conference Finals and to the NBA Finals? We're going to start with Chris.
You want to start with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the question is, would Jayson Tatum be able to do what Jimmy Butler was able to do a couple of seasons ago, right?
But did the Boston Celtics have a cupcake run?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it in our podcast. Yeah, they did, but ultimately they won the title, so it doesn't really matter. You kind of have to do what you got to do in order to win the title. You have to play who's in front of you. So, if that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen, because we've seen other teams in the past where maybe the entire run wasn't necessarily a cupcake run, but they had some breaks go their way, right? Like even the Toronto Raptors, right? When they won the title, they had Kevin Durant play like 12 minutes in the finals. Klay Thompson got hurt in game 6 of the finals, right? You could switch Golden State and Cleveland, whichever one you want, right? Like one year, a bunch of the Cleveland guys were hurt, right? You had the Draymond suspension the other year. So, I mean, and you can go back like 30, 40 years. There's always something that kind of happens, but you can only really do, what you can. You can only play who's in front of you. I mean, the Celtics guys, they're going to look at it as we're champions. They're not going to look at it as like, oh man, that was the easiest run in the world. I wish it was really, way more difficult than it ended up being. They're going to look at it as we got rings. But as for the other question, I mean, the thing with Tatum is that as a rookie, I mean, he was able to go to, the Eastern Conference Finals without Kyrie, without Gordon Hayward. And that was, I think, a really impressive, run for a guy that was, 18, 19 at that point. I know it wasn't the NBA Finals, but, they were able to take, the LeBron Cavs, basically to the brink. It wasn't the same with, because Kyrie wasn't there, but you're still going toe to toe with LeBron. And they were, very close, to pulling off that upset, right? Like I said, I know it's not Jimmy Butler's finals run, but, at the end of the day, I think that kind of accounts for something. And now Jayson Tatum, he's at an age now where he's probably getting close to reaching his peak, right? So, now that he's kind of close to what he can probably be, as the best player on the team, you can kind of see, right? Like, that's probably good enough to win a title. You still got to have, the right guys around you, but with the Miami Heat, that's kind of one of the limits, in terms of having, the guys that they had, like a Gabe Vincent, like a Max Strus. Once you start prioritizing those guys, once you're in the playoffs, then you kind of have to rely on those guys to deliver you the chip. And that's really difficult. Meanwhile, with Boston, they can look over. And even if Jayson Tatum doesn't have a great game, you still have, Porzingis, you still have White, you still have Brown. But, the best player on the team still has to get it done. Because we've seen other guys, that were the best players have really talented teams, and they weren't able to get it done. Like some of those Rockets teams were really good. They had Chris Paul and a bunch of other guys. And, they were right there. But then they missed 27 straight threes, right? And I know Chris Paul was hurt, but then they ended up losing. And, that would have been really impressive. But sometimes it just isn't meant to be. And, that's kind of where I think you have to look at it with the Heat, where, it was still a very impressive run. But I think, with Tatum, I think, I feel like he's getting a little bit too much hate now. But I understand, the thought process of he's got a really good team around him.
But if you switch them, is Tatum getting it done with Max Strus and Gabe Vincent?
I guess we'll never know. But I mean, but I guess like I said, the main thing is that, when he was a rookie, I just look at the fact that he was able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and now he's a better player than he was then. So is it possible? Okay. Yeah, I mean, sure. It's just, I can't really say anything there, but I think he could do it, but he doesn't have to.
Kyle?
I'm on a flat out no. I'm going to say no. And I'm going to say no for three different reasons. Here's the reasons. Number one, Jayson hasn't shown me anything, and I'm not bashing his game. I think he's a hooper. I'm saying I haven't seen him with less talent and having to like drag a team. Like that responsibility being on Jimmy is a whole different ball game. And the expectations placed on a guy who's would be considered past his prime and was supposed to be coming to Miami to retire and taking his team to, the finals multiple times when apparently he was supposed to be sipping pina coladas out here. I think you swap him. To me, and I think the other piece is the whole Mamba mentality thing and asking him about Kobe. Listen, Kobe didn't talk about it. He was about it. That was the biggest thing about his game is he did his talking on the court. And I'm not saying that Jayson doesn't have the ability to get to a specific level, but I did a video recently about the way the Celtics were able to win the championship. One, the offense they ran, you got 5 guys on the floor who can stretch the floor. You got a coach who's optimized that, and you got high IQ. I mean, getting Drew Holiday was a mad steal. What they traded to get for him was a huge deal. You got a point of attack defender. I know that's an overused phrase right now, but that's really what he is. He does not need to score the ball. He doesn't have to have the ball in his hands all the time. I mean, there were several plays where they set a fake screen and he drove to the basket and did a little floater, and that's basically all he did the whole game. And they ran the same play over and over because you can't sag off Jayson, can't sag off of Jalen. You got Al Horford who shoots the 3-ball respectively. I wish he would retire. And you got a lot of guys on that roster. And when you swap to that bench, whatever they have done, they keep at least one of those guys on the floor to kind of keep that team balanced. So I'm not saying Jayson is a bad player. I'm not saying that if Spo had to coach him with the rosters, if he had to coach the rosters with Jayson that he's had to coach Jimmy with, I don't think
Harkless.
I can't for the life of me believe. Think about the, and I won't drone on too long, but think about the Bucks series. You tell me Jayson is going nuclear against the Bucks, no, I'm sorry, I'm not jacking that. If I guess the third thing, which I guess is kind of ironic, the third thing is I watched D-Wade drag teams to the playoffs prior to this Jimmy Butler, and this other run that we've had. And I think you and I talked about it. And I was frustrated when they didn't put talent around D-Wade when they could have maximized his prime. And I'm alluding that to say every year, unless he was injured, D-Wade dragged teams to the playoffs with 45 wins or more, somewhere in the middle. And bro, when your starting center is Jermaine O'Neal and you got Carlos Arroyo 10 years past his, like, come on, man. I haven't seen Jayson do that with a team yet. So and I'm not saying for the Boston Celtics to fall apart. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I have not seen him drag a team to the playoffs and put him in a position to win a championship with less pieces by what would be considered superstars. That's just my opinion. So if you had to swap them, no. Did they have a cupcake run? You play who's in front of you. I think that's what Chris said. You play who's in front of you. There's nothing else you can do about that. And also, if you have a better game plan than the other coach, you're going to win the game. That's really what it came down to. They defended their butts off, but if you have guys who can move the ball all across court and relocate to the three-point line, and they can douse off of that, there's too much movement going on. I think that's what really got down to it. Nothing against Jason Kidd, but I think got outcoached also, and that's the reason they lost. The Mavs didn't really stand much of a chance. You can't run ISO ball when it gets down to the finals. There's too many games where they can game plan. They're gonna lock you up if you don't have other guys who can really take the load off of you. I think Shaq uses the phrase others. If your others are great, it makes it really easy to win a championship. That's what happened with the Nuggets when we ran into them. That's what happened with the Lakers with Rajon Rondo hitting threes. Like I've never seen him shoot threes before. Not really. And an underrated piece. This is a super other. He just went to Orlando. Caldwell Pope.
Yeah, KCP.
Cooked us in that Lakers bubbles finals. So you got to have others that really put you in a position to win. So no, I don't know the Jayson swapping thing. I can't jack that. And then I don't think it's a cupcake run, but it was a lot easier than any other run during the West. If I had to compare runs, like running through Minnesota, running through the Thunder, I can't jack that. But that's just my.
What do you think about that, Cuts?
Well, I think about I don't think JT can even play without Jaylen Brown, because because that combination is like, I think Jaylen Brown plays the NBA wants JT to be a star so bad, to the point that when Jaylen Brown Jaylen Brown, he plays in the help you plays the win as natural, but he plays on bailing JT out. They want to really compromise the fact that everybody say they couldn't get along. So they want to show everybody that they can get along, but at the end of the day, that guy White bails both of them out. And the question is, could JT play on the Heat with a swap with Jimmy? Man, Jimmy just got that killer, man. It's just the fact that Jimmy probably would have won last year, went long time ago with that Celtic team. Long time ago. Could JT do that with that Heat team we had? We build players like JT with the lack of aggressiveness all the time. That's why Jimmy was able to just to come there and take over. And Jimmy is not even known as a offensive guy until he got to Miami. He's just a dog. So one thing about it, when you hit a hit dog will holler. Give him plays. He's going to holler. And that's how I feel.
Go ahead, Davey.
As a Jayson Tatum fan, because I am a Duke fan, he came from Duke 1 year, played well.
Mm-hmm.
I respectfully have to say no, and I'll say it for these reasons. Jayson Tatum has the talent, the skill to do it all. So he has the ability to do so. What I question is the mentality. And I'm not saying that he's not mentally strong, but when it comes to certain guys have to have that mentality to lead a team like that, to get to the finals. And not even just get to the finals, to win a playoff series. And to win a playoff series being the outspoken underdog. We remember last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, we had a 3% chance to win that finals. 3%. I don't think anyone else has had a lower percentage in the Eastern Conference Finals than we did last year.
Yeah.
And we went up 3-0. Of course, they came back. I mean, their talent speaks for itself. And we still won and went on to the finals. In 2020, we were the 5th seed. When we got Jimmy, they said that we wouldn't even make it out the first round with Jimmy Butler. They said that we would be lucky to make it to be an 8th seed when we got Jimmy Butler. They said it was the worst decision he made in his career was to go to Miami.
Right.
He did something that no one thought he would even fathom to do. We didn't see the ability in Chicago because, of course, they had Derrick Rose. Thibodeau plays his guys entirely too much. We see it in New York now. And same thing happened in Minnesota. But we saw him take a Minnesota team that missed the playoffs multiple times before he got there. And he took them to the playoffs, even though he wasn't the guy. Because, they had Cap and they had Andrew Wiggins. But he's the one that led them to the playoffs. Also, when Philly went to the playoffs that year, they had Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was a guy that helped out defensively a lot, but he was the third guy. He wasn't the guy, so he couldn't lead them because he wasn't the guy. Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade are close because they both have that mentality to where it's like, okay, you give me whatever it is, I'm gonna make the best of it. And Spo also has that mentality. And the thing is, Miami allows Jimmy to be who he is. Jayson Tatum, to me, is like, what can I say? He's a
healthy Paul George.
Yeah. Although I don't know. I think Paul George's mentality was a little bit different too when he was in Indiana. Remember what he did with that team with those guys.
When he broke that anchor in the summer league, when he broke his ankle, he ain't never been the same.
Oh, you talking about when he broke his leg in the Olympics? That was a little different.
Yeah,
he was
hell before then.
That was a devastating injury. But Tatum's mentality is just not there, and then of course we haven't seen him do that because he's always had talent around him. And I want to mention this too because someone mentioned him getting. I think it was Chris who mentioned them making the Eastern Conference Finals when he was a rookie. He had Marcus Smart. He had Terry Rozier, who put up 28 points in Game 6 that got them to Game 7. So let's just relax there. So he didn't lead that by himself. That's the difference between Jimmy Butler and Jayson Tatum. He didn't lead it by himself. Jimmy Butler in the finals 2020 against LeBron had better numbers than LeBron. This is Jimmy Butler we're talking about. We're not talking about everyone else. And this is without Dragic, who only played in Game 6, other than Game 1. He got hurt in Game 1. Him and Bam both got hurt in Game 1. Bam came back, but Bam wasn't the same. Let's just be honest about it. Bam was getting bodied by AD the entire time. It's because he was injured. It was only so much he could do.
Yeah.
And then you look at the talent around him. He didn't have shooters around him for real. The shooters he had was Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. Everyone else was just kind of sort of okay. Kendrick Nunn stepped up a little bit, and that's why he got that contract with the Lakers. I think Miami Heat players need to stop going to the Lakers because it doesn't work out for them.
Nah,
we've seen it. We've seen it happen with Kendrick Nunn and Gabe Vincent. Just don't go to LA. But I simply don't think that he could do it simply just because of mentality alone. I don't think he has that Mamba mentality that he tries to say that he has almost all the time. He does. I think he does too much to try to bring up Kobe too much in his play. Just be yourself, Jayson Tatum. I'm a fan of you, and I think you are a great player, but you need to be you. And I like the fact that he's unselfish. That is perfectly fine. He's a team player, and that's great. But when we look at him and Jaylen Brown, the difference between them two is we can see that Jaylen Brown has that dog in him.
Yeah.
We see it. That's why he was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. That's why he was the Finals MVP. He's the aggressor on that team. If you look at the guy who's driving the ball most of the time, who's there to make a bucket in key moments, it's Jaylen Brown or Drew Holiday. Not saying that Jayson Tatum doesn't have his moments, but most of the time it's Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is the one who sees when it's going crazy, he's going to go to the paint. Tatum sometimes takes a jump shot entirely too much, and he has a great jump shot, but I think he relies on it a little too much. And he just needs to stop trying to compare himself to Kobe. Stop trying to do tributes to Kobe. It's just stop. Don't do it. It's fine. Kyrie is another guy who loves Kobe, but you never hear him. You never hear him say, "This is for Kobe. I'm doing it for Kobe." No, he's doing it for himself. Do it for you. Play for yourself and play your game. But I think simply just because of his mentality, I don't think if he had Jimmy's mentality, then it would have been without a doubt that he could do it.
Harvey, go ahead, man.
First of all, I want to acknowledge everybody here says some great stuff. Very valid points, 100%. Number two, and Martell first raised this in our chat. This was, I think during the interaction we did. About it being normally the title of, I think it was the 2022-2023 run where you guys went to the finals for that. So I'm going to basically be talking about that mainly. The bubble year, yeah, no shot. I don't think Tatum is able to do that just because of the way the roster was constructed back then. But, if we're looking at 2022, 2023, their numbers in the playoffs were damn near identical. Tatum just averaged, I think, about 5 more rebounds than him. So the numbers are there for sure. Number two, I think everybody's kind of forgetting how crazy Caleb Martin was playing. He was playing out of his mind. I think if you couple that with Tatum's numbers as well, on top of why is everybody making faces?
Caleb Martin was
chime
good. Caleb Martin was good in like 3 games that entire play, and everybody says he went crazy. He didn't go crazy. He had really good games, but he did not go crazy. I can go back to that. I can go back to that Eastern Conference Finals. Jimmy led that Eastern Conference Finals. I can go back to that Buck series. Jimmy led that Buck series. I can't say about the Knicks. Jimmy was hurt, but everyone else helped out. But those 2 main series, Jimmy was the guy.
Sure, I'm not saying that he wasn't. What I'm saying
didn't
is
go crazy.
Well, for a guy of his stature and his role on the Miami Heat, I think that was kind of going crazy. Where shooting lights out, and they were leaving him wide open. I mean, y'all watched it, right? He was wide open, and he was hitting
everybody wide open.
Okay,
Miami, he wasn't known as a good 3-point shooting team last year. That's why they left everybody open.
And but he did his job, and he went crazy, and he had 3 good games, like you said. I think coupled with, like I said, Jayson Tatum's numbers, you look at them, they're pretty good outside of probably the efficiency, and I think we can all acknowledge Jayson Tatum sometimes makes basketball, a little harder than it needs to be, for sure, in terms of, the sidestep threes, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you can't discredit his bag. You can't discredit all of those things. And probably for my final point, I would say, if you guys don't think that Eric Spoelstra would be able to get the most out of Jayson Tatum, I think that would be kind of insane to say that you wouldn't. I think you would see Jayson Tatum be unleashed to the point where, not saying he's like the best player in the NBA, but I think he would be a better player than he is on Boston, because you kind of saw it. You saw hints of it with Udoka. Very similar, not necessarily in terms of the coaching style, but, like he wants to get that killer out of somebody. And you see what he's trying to do down there in Houston. Then you bring in Joe Mazzulla, very different coach. They weren't ready. They weren't ready for that. Joe Mazzulla definitely was, and you saw the lapses in that, and I think it kind of trickled down into Jayson Tatum's game. But I think Eric Spoelstra, Jayson Tatum, along with Bam in 2022, 2023, with, all the things that went the Heat way and all the guys that showed up and performed, I think he does it because I think Jayson Tatum is the better player. I think Jayson Tatum is better than Jimmy Butler. I think Jayson Tatum is a better playmaker. And I know you talked about, comparing Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, very different players, different kind of role in what they're able to do. But I think Jayson Tatum, he opens up the floor with his playmaking ability, his rebounding. Obviously, Jaylen Brown, very aggressive when he goes to the rack. But I think with Tatum, he's able to make that right swing because you saw it in the playoffs. His numbers, they didn't look too great. But even when he wasn't shooting the ball, he was making the right play. He was getting rebounds and he was passing. And I think, that's something that you can't really discredit.
Go ahead, Kyle. What you got?
I'm sorry. I can't jack it. I can't jack it. I can't. And the only reason why I say, okay, from the Spo perspective, I agree. I agree with the Spo perspective. I get that.
Can I say something? One thing? Can I say one thing? Sorry. Sure. I don't understand because the discrepancy in the numbers isn't that crazy. In terms of what they both average in the playoffs. That's all.
For me, it's not so much what average is. For me, it's when that average happens. Like, one of the craziest things, and you see him you see this Negro over here in the corner. It was when he made plays that made him great. Defense, offense, it was when he made plays. So to me, by all intents and purposes, Jayson Tatum should be the better player than Jimmy at this stage. I mean, he's been in the league since I don't know when. Like, he's been here forever. So Jayson should have the better upside. He should have the better space to get better. And he's heading into his prime. So I don't disagree with the fact that if you swap them, there's not a possibility. But to say to answer the question strictly, if you had to swap them, I don't think Jayson is the dog that Jimmy is. Like Jimmy's gonna guard you. And here's the funny thing. I think it was mentioned that on the Philly team, he really wasn't the guy. But here's what I went back to. I was watching some Kawhi Leonard highlights, which, is surgical when he's healthy. But right before Kawhi makes that insane jumper, Jimmy's the one who ties the game up. It wasn't Embiid. It wasn't Ben Simmons. It was Jimmy Butler. So before the ball bounced around the rim 12 times, Jimmy made the layup to tie the game up. And by all intents and purposes, they could have been on their way to the finals if things break their way, right? So to me, even if he wasn't the guy on that team, he was the dog on that team. Every team he's been on, he's been the dog on that team. Chicago was a whole different thing. Thibodeau was brought up. Don't like his coaching style. I don't think he's going to win a ring with that type of coaching style. You can't run players into the ground and expect them to be efficient in the playoffs. It's not realistic. But to go back to the player of topic, I don't know that Jayson has the dog, that dog in him. He should, by all intents and purposes, he should have it. With all the talent that he has, he should have it. But to me, he hasn't shown enough of that. I got this kind of like give me the ball and get out the way kind of thing, and really put the ball in the basket or defending that team's best player on the other side. I don't think throughout the Boston series, I don't think Jayson checked Jimmy at all. At all. I don't remember any instance where they had Jayson on him and it was like, yo, go lock him up. But if
it was slight, if anything. It was more so Drew Holiday.
Right.
The guy who's no longer on the team, I can't remember his name.
Marcus Smart?
No, Marcus Smart too, but the one that he got into it with.
Oh boy, who's in Charlotte now? Is he in Charlotte anymore? Charlotte, yeah. I think it is. The thing with that is,
yo, this panel's too quiet, bro. I need y'all to start turning up, dog. What's going on with y'all, mans, bro?
Bro, we talking right now. You gave it while he talking.
Y'all need to start turning up, dog. We doing this Jayson Tatum, Jimmy Butler debate, bro. We know damn right Jayson Tatum ain't no fucking dog, bro. Like, come on, dog. Turn the fuck up, bro. Now, I hope y'all having a good stream, though. I just seen y'all chatting right now. I will pop up, but I'm doing shit right now,
You,
though. But
I'm sure you heard the quote from he's gone now, but Jerry West was like, "Yo, I ate dogs because I was a wolf."
yeah, nah, I seen that.
You can't put that on the player. The player has to have that.
Yo, fun fact: Jerry West. I was in the class for Vegas for summer league. I was in this program. He told me that quote right in front of my face. Real shit. Before he passed away last year in July, last summer league. He
You
repeated
can't
that
put
shit.
that in the player, man. You gotta have that. I'll say this. The era of the space of the game or the way the game is played is so different than it used to be. Like the way guards were brought up, the whole like feel of the game is different. A lot of guys are buddy. They work out together. I'm not saying guys shouldn't be friends off court, but like the old guard, you talking about the wingmen, you talking about like Tracy McGrady, you talking about Kobe, you talking about D Wade, Rip Hamilton, just guys with grit. They're that kind of, it's there, but it's missing from the game, and that's what's the difference. Like there's guys who had it, and they showed it constantly, and they weren't buddy because it was like, oh yeah, this is my homie off. Nah, man, listen, man, I'm trying to kill you on this court, bro. I'm trying to take you out.
You know who has that and who had that almost his entire career, but it's just unfortunate that he just hasn't been able to win yet. Russ.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook is the one guy who's had that attitude no matter what. When I play against you, we may be cool off the court, but you are my enemy while we play. And
He's
that's
a Hall
the
of
one
Famer
guy
to
that
y'all?
has that.
Is he a Hall of Famer to y'all? To me, he is, but I'm
Russ,
just asking.
yes. I don't think that's what I think that's without a doubt. If anyone says he's not, they tripping. He's
first
a
ballot.
I've heard that he isn't because he doesn't have a ring. That's been the excuse.
Charles Barkley don't have a ring.
Are
we serious?
AI?
AI,
Allen Iverson, come
Karl
on.
Malone,
Yeah.
John Stockton. There's a
Anybody
lot of
who
guys we
says
can
that-
name that don't have rings. Just because you don't have
Anybody
a
who
ring,
says
doesn't
that
mean
is
you're not a
infuriating.
dog.
Can I add something to the whole dog argument or whatever?
Yeah, man, go.
I will say I feel like with the dog thing, do y'all think it could be unlocked in terms of a player having it, but it's kind of underneath? Because I feel like we saw that with Tatum just a little bit. He was on the way there when Udoka was the head coach, and then it kind of just all fell flat on his face, if you know what I'm trying to say.
I feel like it's too late for that to happen for him.
What?
He's a
I
team
feel
player.
like it's too late. My thing is, this is what his 8th, 9th year in the league. Most basketball careers go, 15, 16, 17 years at the
good
most?
career, yeah.
Let's say that he makes it to 20 years. That means he has, 10, 12, 11 years left to get that dog in him. And honestly, we got to think about his prime. His prime is right now. So that's going to go between from now and the next 3, 4, 5 years. Most primes don't last that long. It's about a good 7, 8 years. About a good 7, 8 years you're in your prime. He's been in his prime at least the last 2 years. So that means he got about 5 years left in that prime. And he doesn't have that kind of a coach to bring that dog out of him. He has a player on his team that can get that dog out of him. 2 of them, actually. And that's Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday. But the thing is, they're dogs themselves. Most dogs themselves don't really bring it out someone else. They just show their dog even more. That's like Jimmy Butler, because he tries to bring that dog out in Tyler Hero, but what's Tyler Hero? Tyler Hero is Tyler Hero. It's
He's
just
a
not.
hero.
It's not in him. And I hope Tyler Hero.
He's gonna help us get Dame.
I hope Tyler Hero understands that he is not Trae Young or Luka Doncic. I hope he understands that.
Yeah, he's
Why do
Jordan
you
Poole
quote
at
that?
best.
Why do you quote that?
I think it's too late for him. I think it's too late for him for that to be bought out.
He said it.
Yeah, now the hero's getting paid, right? Because we were kind of talking about that earlier. Now he's making 30+ million a year, so more is expected out of you. But then he could also look at it and be like, hey, I'm getting paid max money, so I want all my touches. I want, the offense to go through me a bunch of times. And that's not going to be the best way for the Heat.
That'll be the exit door for Jimmy Butler.
Right.
Yeah,
he will ask for a trade if he sees that happen. I'm telling you that right now.
Everything Hero's been asking for, he's been getting. He wanted to start. He started starting. You know, everything. He wanted the money. He wanted the bag. He got the bag. I don't know. He
Mhm.
got a heavy connection down there, man.
And it's crazy because that same post conference, that same press conference that Pat Riley talked about Jimmy Butler missing it, he defended Tyler Hero.
Wait. I will say though, he called Tyler fragile.
He did, but he still defended him more than anything.
Which I agree. I agree he did defend him. Here's my thing, and I've said this on different platforms, and it blows my mind that like people are going to go to war for Tyler when he hasn't given us anything to go to war for. I'm sorry. If anybody
He's
else,
giving us 6 man of the year. What you mean?
well, I'm three-time champion back here came off the bench and didn't complain about it because he wanted to help the team win. But Tyler Hero, who hasn't won more than the 6 man of the year, he ain't first. He went on the first team first time. What is that? All team, all NBA. He went on no all
He
NBA.
wanted nothing.
I mean, look
Or was
what they put in his contract. I think the one of the bonuses he could win is if he
he
wins
wasn't
defensive
even
player of
on
the
the all
year.
rookie team, was he?
Second
I
team.
don't
I
think
think he
so. He
made second
was.
team all
Yeah,
rookie.
he was snubbed. Yeah, from the first team, he was snubbed.
But to me, one, you've been in the league for a little bit.
He
Put
don't play
some
no.
muscle on.
He don't play
Stop
no
screen
defense.
hunting
Yeah.
and get to the cup. If the jumper not working, most guys figure out an in between or get into the basket. I'm not saying for him to ruin his game by putting on too much muscle, but put on 5 to 10 pounds so that you can get to the basket and finish through contact. I haven't seen him do that enough. Um, to me, for him to be in that that trade, that Luka conversation, this Boston series should have gone 6.
What?
That's my
Hey,
opinion.
you right. Hey, but one thing I can say with all this talent that the Heat has right now, you're gonna see less injuries.
I can agree with that.
One thing about our culture, you can have a thumbnail bleeding. You sit out a game or two or maybe three. Because one thing about it is, I think somebody mentioned it earlier, Spoelstra's such a good coach. He loves the challenge of coaching what he has. When you got this much talent, it's gonna be hard. I'm anxious to see Coach Spoelstra coach with a center. Remember we had Yerk 7. Remember we had Orlando. We had my guy. I do it with blocks. Remember him? And
Who? Hassan Whiteside?
yeah, I'm just saying,
Man,
can Spo coach with a big man? You remember Hassan wanted to shoot threes at one time. That's what got his ass out of town too.
I'm glad it did because he shouldn't have been shooting them bricks, thinking he was Ben
Yeah, and
Allen.
we gave him 99 million. So
Don't get me
so that
started on that contract when they refused. They let Wade walk over to Chicago.
yeah, we was
That makes you
Oh
desperate.
mad every
my
time.
goodness! Oh
We
my
was
goodness!
that we're desperate. But what I want to say is the guy where he really shows me little flashes of Bosch a little bit. I'm talking about with stuff he can do around the perimeter and stuff like that. It is really the man can shoot the tray ball and the elbow shot, everything, man. It's crazy, man.
I don't think his jumper is as fluid as Bosch, but I
Oh
get what you're
no,
saying.
that because he was that Bosch got that left hand that was pretty sweet. You know what I mean? But man, I'm glad we got him. But like I'm saying, like at least 3, 4 guys off this summer league team for real. It's gonna be a bunch, man. It's gonna be crazy. Them guys are hungry too. We've been talking about dogs for the last 30 minutes. There's some dogs on that squad.
I got a question for everybody. I want to see what everyone thinks about this. I've seen something that was talking about the starting lineup. And I saw a name in there that I haven't heard anyone mention yet. Jaime Jaquez.
Yeah.
I think he definitely. If we're talking about starting one of our younger guys, I think it's Jaime who deserves it more than anyone else.
He
If
didn't
we if
lose
we
it. I
talking about
don't know
between
why he
him
won.
and Jovic and anyone else, it's Jaime who deserves it more. He showed it last year that he's really good and he's really dependable when he's healthy. And if you look at what he's doing in the summer league right now, he's pretty much like he just went there for a couple games, but I'm just show y'all
Yeah.
how much
Yeah.
better I got.
Like he's past that. Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
So I think
Yeah.
he. Do you think if so? I saw something else that talked about us making a trade like before the deadline. If it comes to a point to where we have the opportunity to get someone, but we have to trade one of our younger guys and some picks in Tyler Hero and someone else. Which one are you giving up first? Are you going to give up Jaime or Jovic?
I'm giving up Jokic. Because like Triple J he's proven. I done seen Jokic good for a quarter or two, and then he wet the bed because of his experience. It ain't his fault, but we need guys that can ball right now.
I agree.
We don't let Boston get a chip, and Boston
Right.
we had Boston on their heels, man. So whatever that memo they sent to our organization about all these guys supposed to be hurt at one time, it happened. It happened to us finally.
Yeah,
We
I
had a
think
lot of people hurt, just like the bubble.
yeah, I think one of the issues though is that if you're another team, you know, would you rather want to get back Jovic or Jaquez Jr.? Because I think most teams would probably say they'd rather have Jaquez back than Jovic, because Jovic he's coming into year 3, and then after that he may be up for an extension or he'll be in the last year of his deal or something like that. So you might have to decide to pay him if you want. But then with Jaquez, you still got him for another couple of years under team control. So I feel like most teams would probably prefer to get back Jaquez.
Well, aren't they only a year apart? Because
Yeah, they
Jovic
only
was
a year
just drafted
apart.
the year before, so I don't
Yeah.
think that would be. I don't think that would make a difference, honestly.
Yeah, I just
Now,
think most people would think Jaquez is better.
of
Yeah.
course, I think so too. But
Triple J
I'm
done
just,
played more.
I
Yeah.
care about. I don't care about anyone else's perspective. I'm talking about Miami Heat's perspective.
Yeah.
Who would we rather keep? Me personally is Jaime, but I just
Yeah,
want to see
Me
what everyone
too.
else
Me
thought.
too. Yeah, I think so too.
100%.
Because he proved it, man. I love the upside with Triple J. I love his upside or whatever, but man, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. Cause right now I think he's out injured now. Is he playing in one of his country team or
He's
no? He's out now.
he's so he just fully recovered and he's about to play for Serbia in the next couple of weeks. But my thing with my biggest issue is, say they decide not to keep Jovic. The last thing I would, and this is not as a basketball fan, this is just as a Heat fan I'm speaking, I would hate for him to walk over to the Nuggets and go play with his homeboy.
Oh man.
And you having two guys who can pass with the vision that they have is nasty work. I'm not gonna lie to you, because he
That's
doesn't
what
need to
we're
have the
afraid
ball in
of.
his hand.
We're afraid of that. We definitely afraid of that. I think so, though, bro.
Because that's all we need, to add another guy who does the exact same things, not necessarily on the same level, but the way he sees the floor.
I think what messed us up in the finals is we didn't make Jokic a scorer.
Yeah.
That's the issue. Because we saw it in the game that we won, that we made him score and we just defended everyone else. That's how you beat the Nuggets. You make him become a scorer. Don't allow him to facilitate the ball. If you allow him to do that, then that opens the floor for everything. So that's the way to beat them. You saw what Minnesota did. Minnesota had to do that.
They out counterpunched him.
All the games that they did, they was like, you know what? Nah, we're gonna defend everyone else. Jamal Murray, you are strapped up. Aaron Gordon, you're strapped up. Jokic, you're gonna have to score. And everyone else, you're going to have to go crazy. You're going to have to go for 50, 60 points in order to win. Yeah. And that's the thing. You got to make him a scorer. You cannot allow him to get 7, 8, 9, 10 assists. You got to limit him to 5, 6 at the most. You can't let him be a playmaker. If he's the playmaker, you lost.
He's a hub of offense. I mean, he just he's, for all the unathletic claims about him being able to play 60 minutes to not really be tired, to run an offense at the center position and drag your center out from underneath the paint. You can't sag off when he's hot. He will shoot the ball and he will light you up.
He didn't miss against us. He didn't miss at
all.
all.
Man, some of the shots he made against Bam, and that's my thing about Bam. He had to guard arguably the best player on the floor that entire series, and they were also expecting him to average 5 or 6 assists, grab 10 or more rebounds, and average 20 or more. I'm not gonna lie to you, doing that and then guarding Jokic is insane. Is a tall task. I don't know how he gets. I don't know why he's so good, because by all intents and purposes, by his ability, his quickness on the floor, his lateral movement, it's not that impressive.
Yeah, he don't supposed to be good. Symmetrics, he don't supposed to be good.
Right, but man.
And guess what the league gonna do? They're gonna gift wrap him Russell Westbrook.
Let me tell you, the fact that they're gonna go ahead and get him off the bench is nasty. That's a spark plug. That's
Big
all they.
time.
I mean, this
I
is
wish
funny.
he was in
Obviously,
Miami.
Me
it's
too.
not the same shooting.
Me
It's
too.
not the same shooting, but replacing Caldwell Pope with Russell Westbrook is an upgrade. I know it's not the same
Yeah.
shooting.
Nah, but it's just he's the one man fast break.
I mean, see what he did with the Wizards that year?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, he did.
you know that was the only team he averaged a triple double for in his only season there. If you look at his career stats, that's the only team he averaged a triple double for. Now I know what he did with OKC when he won the MVP, but I'm saying if you look at his career stats with any team, if you look at his best stats, it's with the Wizards. I think he averaged 27, 12, and 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Hey,
And the thing is, if you allow
yeah.
him to do that, you allow him to be the playmaker that he is, that opens up the floor for so much stuff.
Miami can steal him, man. As soon as he passed waivers, man.
Do they have?
It's he already made the decision.
Oh,
He's
he
going to
did?
the Nuggets.
That's already done.
Okay.
He already made the decision.
All right.
I do that. I do the reports and stuff for my chats and my show
Okay.
all the time. So I know exactly. I know as soon as someone signs, I know it immediately.
Yeah, so that's the play.
Now, outside of the Miami Heat, you know, like I'm really looking at the New York Knicks. I think like a lot of people are sleeping on the New York Knicks. I think they have a really good chance to beat Boston. Now, what do you guys think about that?
I'm sorry, I'm a Knicks hater. I'm a big Knicks hater.
They better.
No, but me too. But they, bro, OG, bro, listen, just having
Yeah,
OG
see-
back and Mikal Bridges on the wing with Josh Hart, a lot
It
of
is
people are
nasty.
sleeping on that.
It is
they
That's
nasty.
nasty work.
Villanova.
I think what will hurt them is Tibbs. That is what will hurt them. If he makes them play more minutes than what they need, then that's going to hurt them. This will be the one time where you might see Mikal Bridges actually miss some games during the season, because Tibbs runs his players to the ground. He did that in Chicago. He did that in Minnesota. He's doing it in New York. You look at what happened last year. Josh Hart, they stood up and gave a round of applause because the man actually sat down for a couple of minutes. That lets you know he's playing entirely too much. He's playing 48 minutes a game. That is crazy. And Mikal has never had to play 48 minutes a game. And that's a lot. That's a lot of wear and tear on your body. And you're playing 82 games a season plus the in-season tournament and the playoffs. That's a lot of wear and tear. And Mikal Bridges has been one of the most healthiest guys in the last few seasons. Now, I think defensively, they become a nightmare because you got OG and Mikal and Josh Hart. Those are three really good defenders. Now, the other guys, they can be okay, but they lose Isaiah Hartenstein, who was actually a good defender who went to OKC. But you got Julius Randle.
Yeah.
You got Julius Randle coming back.
Julius Randle's got to go. He got to go, man.
I don't think
he fits their roster anymore, though.
I think
they had all those
he's going anywhere
left-handers
right now.
on their team. They had, out of 5 starters, they had 4 left-handers on their team at one time, playing going straight to the right side the whole game. Just think of that. That's crazy.
Jalen Brunson is still nasty. Dante DiVincenzo is a
Blue
dog.
I'm surprised the Golden State Warriors let him walk. To be honest with you,
that's true,
man.
I like his heart.
I thought when they signed Mikal Bridges that OG was gone. OG was like, "Nah, I'm coming back." I was like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe this." But I've always given them praise since they made those moves. I thought that they were a really good team and they could make some moves. Possibly, I'm not sure.
Somebody else pulling the strings now. Must be.
Honestly, I wish the Knicks would sell their team because I'm a big Dolan hater. I hate that. I hate the MSG.
Yeah.
I hate Dolan. They sell the team, man. Anyway, I'm not a Knicks fan, but
he must be letting somebody else do it now. Because those are not his moves, man.
No. I think that they're for me, the offense is something. This is just me. I personally don't focus on the offense of a team mainly because that's just figuring out who has the ball, what type of ball movement they're going to run, all that type of sets and stuff. To me, it's the defensive upside that team has now with multiple guys being able to guard their man and lock up. It's a headache. Mikal don't miss games. I think he's missed like 2 games in his entire career.
He's nice.
And Josh Hart's annoying to play against.
He's a dog.
Just annoying to play against. DiVincenzo's a dog. He plays with it. I mean, they have a team full of guys who play with a chip on their shoulder. So Mikel doesn't have the responsibility of having to average 20 per night. He's got guys he can defer to. Honestly, I think the league hates the Heat. I know that's propaganda, but I feel like the league hates the Heat. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
I feel like we all feel that. We all feel that way, honestly.
We forced to develop players. We just forced to do it.
I didn't even know New York had that much money left to sign who they signed.
I think GMs just don't like Pat Riley.
Agreed.
I think they don't like Pat Riley.
Who do you see? I'm not gonna lie to you. After Spo coaching for so long, I don't know if I would want to see another coach on the sideline coaching his team. And I know that's probably biased to say because of what his body of work and everything.
Yeah.
But from a general manager perspective, is he next up after Pat sets this thing? I mean, Pat's 80 years old, guys. Like, he's not a young man anymore.
Yeah.
I know he's still a competitor at the heart of it, but
I would say no, because his coaching is still too good and he's still so young as a coach. He's really not old. He's young because he started young as a coach. Remember, he was the video guy for the team at first when we won the first finals. So he's very, very young. And as great as he is, I don't think he's going to become go upstairs anytime soon. Pat is old, so I think he needs to go. But I'm thinking about guys like Tim Connolly in Minnesota. Those guys may possibly. So there's a GM out there soon or later.
So
that
maybe.
I don't know. I would like. I know we like to keep
JJ back.
I know we like to keep it in the family, but I would rather James Jones. I think is doing a great job. Yeah. I think he would be perfect as well. For me, I don't know about Zoe because I've never seen what he's capable to do. I don't know about that. I would like to keep it in the family, but I would rather us just go find someone else other than keeping it in the family. We run it back too much. So let's try to find someone else outside the organization that kind of knows a lot about basketball that can make certain moves that we know Pat Riley did not make.
True. I think there's just bad blood right there. Like having a guy who's won as many rings as he's had. He's gotten some deals done that were bargains off of some teams. So by all intents and purposes, there are some GMs who are like, man, you made it with undrafted players. Continue to do that. I'm not helping you out. I think that's really what it comes. That's really what it comes down to. He's been around for he's older. His age and his career is almost as long as some of the guys who are GMs now at age. So I don't know what they do. If they don't feel like doing a deal with the Heat, I think that's something that maybe fans overlook is if you have a guy in the front office that's been there forever, he's been here 40 twice. If you want to break down the time, it's he coached Magic. Like, I mean, what are we talking about here? So I don't know what has to happen in order for him to be able to get some deals done. It doesn't seem like teams are really willing to help. The developing talent thing, I've been a fan of. I guess my question would be to y'all: do you feel like the Heat didn't value draft picks well enough early on that now they're in this position where, yeah, they do have a few draft picks, but if you look at what they have left in the drawer draft pick wise, a lot of these guys are in middle school and high school in their freshman year. What's y'all?
Hold on 1 second, Kyle. Hold on 1 second on like with that question. Chris, do you think that Donovan Mitchell made a mistake re-signing?
So
because what is he gonna get out of Cleveland?
So we talked about
what is he gonna get out of that
on our podcast a while back, where he's doing the money sign, and that's kind of the big thing right there. Is like, when you sign that extension, they can give you the most money. So just because he signed the extension now, that doesn't necessarily mean that come a year from now, he's still going to be super happy in Cleveland and he's going to, stay a Cav for life. So that's kind of the big thing right now. Cause with the CBA and whatnot, like you kind of have to try to keep the guys. We talked about it on our podcast where we feel like for Cleveland, the best direction probably would have been to just kind of move him and just kind of see, what you can kind of do with the other young guys. But, with the Cavs, I guess they're kind of like, well, we gave up a decent amount to get Mitchell, so we don't really want to be in a position where he walks. So I think that's kind of the big thing now is you just have to kind of re-sign him and then kind of figure it out. I guess they're going to run it back with a different coach. Probably won't make that much of a difference unless one of their young guys takes a big leap. But, we're probably going to have this conversation again like a year or so from now where, somebody's going to be like, hey, is Donovan Mitchell still happy in Cleveland? And then, at a certain point, it'll kind of run its course. We'll see. But, I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. I think it's just the money thing. And it's just like, if nobody else is going to give an offer that Cleveland likes, I mean, you're not really going to get anything done.
Yeah, I mean, like when you have guys saying that they're not lights are bright and they really haven't made any improvements, I'm actually pretty shocked. They haven't made any trades, and I just don't think that small backcourt could work.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I don't really feel like that it's going to be that much better than it was last season. I mean, like maybe they'll be a little better. Maybe guys will be healthier, but I mean, they were, still a top 4 seed. So, I mean, how much better are they really going to be? Are they going to get to the conference finals, NBA finals? I don't really see it.
Trent, go ahead, my man. Trent.
Yo.
Go ahead, bro.
Yo, Yari, bro. I need y'all boys going, bro. Y'all need to smoke these Heat fans up, dog. All right? Smoke these Heat fans up, man.
The delusion is through the roof, bro.
Nah, facts, bro.
The delusion is
everybody
through
on
the
this
roof.
panel's delusional, bro. Like
Thank you.
delusional, bro. Like
That's
we
how
can
I
all
feel,
be
though.
Heat fans, but I need. There's not one realistic Heat fan on this panel right now, dog. What's going on with it? And I see homeboy making faces like, yo, y'all ain't realistic, bro.
Keep it a buck. Was Donovan Mitchell ever going to come to Miami?
He was never coming to Miami.
No.
Were you guys ever going to get Russell Westbrook? No.
Bro, none of these players were coming. You know what it was, bro? It's all we run content. But that's all for clicks and that's more for us to get excited. But damn right, we getting Drew Smith, dog. That's all we get.
I mean, I never thought any of the guys. Here's my thing with reports. I feel like reporters use the Heat as leverage
100%
in reports to say what they want to say and get us involved. And then Heat fans lose their minds, which I just kind of roll my eyes at because unless somebody else said it, and the Heat are really tight-lipped anyway. So unless they said something, I don't know why anybody would believe it. Like, we watched Woj during the Dame thing, basically write love letters to Cronin. Come on, man. What are we talking about here? Like, he wrote in his leather book. Come on, bro. You gotta, nah, man.
Once you hear a move over and over and over again, it feels like it's just not going to happen. It feels like the ones that are kind of almost going to happen are the ones that almost kind of happen in silence. Like, I don't feel like, I mean, did you guys hear a bunch about Jimmy Butler before he came to Miami? Like,
nope.
Like, did you expect it to happen?
Nope.
Right.
Nope. So. I think the only time we expected something was when Bosh came to Miami. We was like, okay, now we kind of got a feeling that LeBron is going to come to Miami because Bosh is here. It's like he's not going to go anywhere else. He wanted to play with these two guys. They both signed here, so it's like it's a good sign he's going to come here. Jimmy was other than that, everything else was pretty much a surprise. I had no clue that Jimmy Butler was even on our radar.
Yo, let me ask y'all a question. Why they doing my girl Angel Reese like that, dog? Why they always bashing Angel Reese, bro?
Oh, I don't know
because Caitlin Clark, bro, she's the GOAT. What are you talking about?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not lying.
What are you talking about?
We're not jacking that. I'm not jacking that.
Yeah,
I'm not jacking
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT. That's why.
I'm sorry. Asia Wilson exists and is going for another MVP.
Yeah.
Wait.
No.
You said Caitlin Clark is the GOAT?
No, listen. What I mean by that is she's bringing more eyes.
It was a joke.
Listen, it was.
I think we found something to come together.
Hold on. No. Look, she's bringing more eyes to the sport, and a lot of people, I guess, I don't know. Listen, I was joking about the GOAT thing.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
About the GOAT thing.
The WNBA,
she's bringing eyes to the sport.
The WNBA hasn't done a good job marketing, and that's the reason why they weren't
at all.
If we're gonna be honest, now New York MSG was packed out when New York played Vegas, and if we're gonna be honest, that's just because talent has resurfaced. I mean, the Houston Comets were cooking teams, and they were selling out teams at 17, 20, almost 20,000 folks in their arenas. So it's a matter of marketing. Number one, number two, and this is just my opinion. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to watch a woman hoop. 9 times out of 10, they fine. I'm saying this from an aesthetic perspective. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. So that's one. Two, and they hooping their asses off. Like, what we talking about here? They getting buckets and they fine. Like, what are we doing here? Like, how do you not market that? Right. So the whole Caitlin.
When you finish, I got a comment.
Go ahead.
So, like I said, I'm a huge college basketball fan. That's men and women. What they did is they saw what happened in college 2 years ago between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And they was like, ooh, we got something. That's what they followed. They followed the head-to-head matchups. That's what sells tickets.
It does.
That's why Iowa was sold out in games. That's why LSU was selling out in games. That's why South Carolina, UConn was selling out in games. It's because they're looking at these young ladies and they're looking at the stars now. We already knew that they had Breonna Stewart, that they had Brittany Griner. We know they had Diana Taurasi. We know they had Maya Moore, Skylar Diggins-Smith. We know they had these.
Maya Moore, the greatest of all time.
We know. Yeah, I would say Maya Moore before I say Caitlin Clark. But but we know that they had balls in the WNBA. They just didn't market the matchups well enough for it to be good. And that's why it wasn't selling. They were already fans of WNBA. Like, I've been a fan of WNBA since it pretty much started in 1998. So I've been a fan since it started. But the thing is, the stardom didn't really start until a few years ago when when Sabrina had gotten into the league and Kennedy Carter. Kennedy Carter is a baller. And people be forgetting about her.
Hooper.
She's like the close.
She's a nightmare to guard.
She is really like the female version of Kyrie Irving. If you really look at her game, she be balling, and she don't care. I remember that game where I think it was her team played against Team USA, and she cooked them. She was balling.
Yeah, but we're not talking about female Steph. What about female Steph?
Female Steph is Kelsey Plum. I'm sorry. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah,
first of all, female Steph is Sabrina. She actually played against him in the 3-point contest. That's female Steph.
Kelsey can shoot the lights out though.
Female Steph don't look like that.
He always over here trolling, man. I peep that. I peep you, Trent. I peep you.
Honestly, they need to bring back Miami Soul. I don't know why it left in the first place. There's the other thing. They're not putting teams in. They're not putting teams in cities where it's going to blow up the most. I think that's what they're missing out on. Put them where you can market it well, or put them in small markets. I feel like places like Iowa, for instance, they don't. What do they have to look forward to in their state? Like,
yeah,
put
but
a team there.
The overall product though needs to change in terms of, think about it. Caitlin Clark is shooting logo threes. Nobody's doing that. Logo threes, fade away.
Sabrina and Kelsey Plummer said it like she had to break their records.
I hear you. No, but they're more from the older generation. Like, it's kind of like what
older. Sabrina ain't even that much older. What are you talking about?
Yo, Martel.
Hold on. The marketing that they're doing is like what you said. There's never been marketing. Think about
Sabrina's
what they've been doing.
Like 2-3 years. That's not.
Folks
Yo, Martel, just tell them that Caitlin Clark just broke the record with like a most assists, bro. Just tell them that, bro.
That's great. That's great.
But
you know who
I'm not saying she's not a great player. She won't be. But
she's a rookie.
Y'all make it seem like they haven't been shooters in the league before.
Man, let's keep it a buck. Yo, hold up. Let's keep it a buck. Ain't nobody give a fuck about none of those players. Caitlin Clark came into that WNBA. Now she's selling out arenas. Now she's selling out arenas, dog.
She's selling out arenas.
D-Dad's selling out arenas, dog.
Up to games with Angel Reese there, and she's selling out. She's selling out arenas as well. They coming to see her play too. Now, granted, everybody with the stat. Here's what's funny. Here's what's funny to me. Everybody was like, "Oh, she stat pads." I ain't watch. People in the NBA don't stat pad.
Mm-hmm.
They don't.
Of course they do. They say that about Russ all the time.
No, they don't. You don't stat pad. Stop trolling.
They stat pad.
Stop trolling.
This
Russ
whole
don't
draft
Trent,
class,
Trent,
I think,
Russ
is
don't
Trent,
stat
excited.
pad. Russ
Trent,
don't stat
turn
pad.
your
Y'all
camera
niggas getting
off,
me
Trent.
tight, bro.
Turn
Russ do
your,
not stat
turn,
pad.
turn your camera off,
Stop
Trent.
playing with me,
You know
bro.
they say that.
Stop playing with me,
You know
bro.
they say that about him.
Yo,
You know
yo,
they say that about
yo,
him.
when Russ averages a triple double this year, wins the ring, and all that shit with Denver type shit, you feel me? This
I
season
think you're
coming
doing a
up,
little too much saying the ring.
I
You're going
ain't
a little
saying
too far
no,
saying the ring.
no,
So
no, bro. When he comes off the bench, wins 6 man, wins championship, has 200 triple doubles.
I need him to
Plus,
go ahead and figure out that contract with Jamal Murray before he walks somewhere
he
else.
already got it set. They already got it set. They're waiting for Olympics to be over with. Trust and believe. That's good. We ain't worried about that.
yeah, they are.
Yeah,
Yo,
everybody-
why is Team USA struggling with Saudi Arabia? Can somebody tell me
No,
that?
hold on. I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about
But no,
that.
but I want
wanted to
Chris to
talk
answer
about
that
that.
one. Why
I wanted to talk
why
about
is
that.
Team USA struggling with Saudi Arabia? They got old man LeBron James.
One
South
game,
Sudan, bro.
one game.
First off, it's South Sudan. That's number
It
one.
was not Saudi Arabia.
Saudi
Number
Arabia,
two.
South Sudan, whatever it is.
Number
Wakanda,
two. Here's the problem. You
whatever
got
it might be.
Luol Deng.
Oh
You
my.
got Luol Deng who's coaching the team, and he picked the players for the team. He done played against half the players that's on the other side. He was a defensive player. He's like, all you got to do is put a little bit of size against this team. We got to guard out. He picked all the 7'5" African Negroes. I mean, what we doing here, bro?
And one of those guys are going to be at Duke with Cooper Flag.
Yes, he's
One of those
17 years
guys
old
going to
right
be
now.
at Duke.
Yes.
Yep.
He
And
just
Duke,
committed to Duke.
playing
Duke
at
is going to
Duke.
be nasty next year. I'm telling y'all. Oh
Bro,
my
I'm telling you. All he did, and so I don't know if y'all know Dev in the lab. He said on Twitter, he was just like, you can beat Team USA with a good strategy.
bro,
First
I don't
off,
keep
the
shooting
point
night
guard,
too.
the point
Yo,
guard,
let
That's
me
what
say
you
shooting
cooking
something.
up?
crazy.
Let me say something, bro. Everybody keeps saying you can. Yo, Team USA haven't lost the exhibition game yet, bro. I don't want to hear if it, bro. Until they
Durant's
beat
on the
us,
way
I
back.
don't
Group stage is
want
different though, Trent.
It almost happened today.
100%. But guess what? LeBron coming for that gold. He ain't walking out with no gold. LeBron's the GOAT. He coming
And
for the
KD's coming
gold.
back. KD
Yeah,
coming
Durant's
back.
coming back too.
Yo, come on, bro. You think
The
I'm
fact that Durant
worried,
hasn't
bro?
played yet
You
is
think,
actually
you
kind of
think
scary. I
Team
ain't gonna
USA
lie.
is worried? You think they worried? They ain't worried.
No,
I don't want to
bro,
be
they were
worried.
laughing. They were
I
Yeah,
don't
laughing.
wanna
no,
be worried.
they're fine. It's literally exhibition.
But we all know that players for their home, like they country, play outside of their mind, bro.
Patty Mills played like Steph in
Yeah,
the
come on
Olympics.
Out of his
He's a
mind.
whole different animal in the Olympics. But when
they
he
had a
played
crazy
club,
shooting
trash.
night. South Sudan like shot
Wenyen
lights out.
Gabriel banked in a 3.
Yeah,
Hey, I
JT
think
Thor.
I
Like,
think
come
Dude
on,
had
bro.
like 26 points or something like
Cooked.
that. He was cooking from three. Oh
Supposed
my
to be
god!
I can't even remember what their point guard's name is, but he cooked everybody off the dribble.
He dropped a freaking triple double. I was like,
Carlik
what?
Jones, I think.
Yo, Lil Vince, bro, you a little man. Sit down. Talking about LeBron. MJ's the GOAT. Sit your ass down, boy.
Oh, brother.
Sit
I'm not
your
getting in
ass
that conversation because you already know that's how I feel. But I say it every time on the video, I don't want to
No,
talk
but
about
that's
greatest
another
of
one.
all time conversations.
Le-
we can't even
LeBron
have these
never
boys
left the
play.
Miami Heat. LeBron should have never have left the Miami Heat.
I agree.
He would have had 10 rings.
Facts.
I don't know about the 10.
He would have
the
had
7,
no
8,
Trent. He would have
9,
had
10.
20
Bro,
rings. Trent.
what?
Trent.
He
We would have been going. We would have still been counting. Not one, not two, not
we,
three.
yo, we
not
would win
four,
this
not
year.
five.
Fuck you talking about?
Yeah, we would, bro. We would have had 20 rings, Trent. We would have had 20 rings.
Yo, we went in last year. We
Yeah,
went in the year
last
before
year.
that. Come on, dog.
Facts.
Yo, Yari,
Come
I
on,
got a
David.
question
You
for
know
you,
good
bro.
and well LeBron should have never left Miami.
And y'all both in DC. I wanted to ask about what y'all think about y'all squad. And obviously they're not in like no playoff mode yet. But from what you've seen as what they've added through the draft, they got a couple of guys they're probably going to end up moving to kind of move back in
That dude Star, right? He's on there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do y'all think about the upside? I think Bud is he's gonna be tough as he gets a lot more experience.
Bud Carrigan is a bucket.
Adding, I know people are bagging on Sarr, but I feel like there's an adjustment from the Australian game to the NBA game. A difference of size on the court. That's another thing. The court is like about 2 feet shorter. There's also a difference of physicality, and also there's a difference of rules because they play basically FIBA ball. You pull the ball off the rim, all that type of stuff is an adjustment. What do y'all think about the Wizards as they make this reset? Does Kuzma stay? And what do y'all think in the next couple of years?
Well,
You want me to go before you, Yarby? I mean, that's your team.
I'll go first. Number one, I think they won the draft 100%. It was a weak draft by some people's standards, but to get those three guys, I think they're awesome. Like you said, Bub is awesome. He was my favorite player coming out of the draft. I didn't think he was gonna go that early, if you wanted me to be real, but I think he has what it takes to be a franchise PG, especially backing up Jordan Poole. We already know Jordan Poole is not the long-term answer for sure. And then obviously, that you basically got Bub Carrington for Avdia, which I think is a plus because, Avdia is drafted by the previous regime. A lot of people don't know. You got brand new management in there. There's not a lot of loyalty. So some people just have to go. And I think the thing with Avdia, I'm not upset about it. I know a lot of people are, but with Denny, I think it was more so the order of things. I thought other things were going to happen before Denny left. I thought they were going to get rid of Kuzma, maybe like a Tyus Jones, figure out like a sign and trade, Shaman. I think there were other things that needed to be done before getting rid of Denny, but I think since the opportunity presented itself and they were able to get a draft pick in Bub Carrington, that's why I think it's a solid win. And that young core, along with Bilal Coulibaly, his defensive upside is going to be sweet. Pair that with Sarr, and I'm not going to drag on Sarr because I think he's tough. He just needs to get his body NBA ready. And I think he just tries to do a little bit too much in terms of it kind of reminds me of DeAndre Ayton a little bit, where it's like he plays a little soft right now, where you feel like, why are you doing a step back mid range when you could just take it to the cup and just yam that joint? You know what I mean? Like you're 7'1", 7'2". You don't need to be doing a step back. But that we already knew that's what he was going to be coming into the league. I think on the defensive end, the hustle for sure. Probably want to see a little bit more on the rebounding end, but he's going to be a rookie. It's summer league, and I think you got your franchise big, and he could potentially play the 4. He's going to be versatile. But yeah, Wizards are going to be probably the worst team in the NBA next year. But going forward, I think you have to. Yeah, going forward, you have to like the game plan. It's OKC all over again. They're going to stockpile the assets. That's what they've been doing. That's what they're trying to do. I think we own the majority of the second round picks, so expect those to kind of be moved around in 3-team deals all over the place. But yeah, and as for Kuzma, I think he leaves. I think he goes probably around the deadline. If you want me to be real, I think he'll be one of those guys that a contender kind of is looking for to get over the hump a little bit. Like I thought he was going to the Kings last year. Didn't happen, but some team will probably want him, and they'll give up a first round pick for him, especially if they.
But is he worth 2 first round picks? Because I don't think he's worth 2 first round picks.
2, no, 1.
I mean, Mikal went for 4 or 5, so I mean, you get the most you can get out of him. I'm not saying that he's actually worth, but was Mikal worth 4 or 5 first round picks? No. But that's what they traded.
Yeah, he
for,
was.
so.
Yeah, he was.
I'd say maybe 3.
Mikal?
Trent, are you saying that from availability perspective?
Mikal Bridges is a superstar. That's what you're telling me.
That's exactly.
So Rudy Gobert?
I don't think he is.
Rudy Gobert is a superstar.
No, but that's because they overpaid.
Rudy Gobert.
Danny
He's a
Ainge is
defensive
the reason
star.
this league is
Yeah,
the way it is
Danny
right
Ainge-
now.
And
Thank
Mikal
you.
Bridges
Thank
and
you.
Mikal Bridges one of best 2-way players out here, dog.
He is. But
I don't disagree with that.
First
But
round
he's not a
picks.
superstar. He's not worth 4 first round, 4 or 5.
Man, this is how they, bro. You gotta realize
3 at
these
the most.
first round picks don't mean squat nowadays, bro.
You say
I
that,
think the
but guess
Knicks
what?
really wanted him, and so they were willing to give up
They
as much
do.
as they could to get him.
These first round picks don't really mean too much unless you're like
I guess.
they don't, bro. They
Nah.
really don't,
The
bro.
upcoming
Stop it.
draft classes are crazy though.
They
Bro,
are
what?
crazy.
The
Next
Wizards-
year?
Yo, hold up. Yo, bro,
Oh,
you
God.
see what the Wizards do with their first round picks? Nigga, they draft Johnny Davis. Like, bro, these
Okay,
teams
that was
don't
the
really
old- that was the
know
old
how to
regime.
That was
draft.
a bad move.
Hold on.
bad management.
These
That's
teams
Ernie
don't know how
Grunfeld
to
Jr.,
draft.
bro.
That's
No,
bad,
but
man.
the new GM is from OKC.
Listen,
Look what they did.
I'll say this about the Wizards, though. The Wizards are in a weird good position right now, because they're in a weird position because they have new, like you said, they have new front offices in there.
Mhm.
The thing is, they still have an old coach in there. So the coach that was there last year, he was the interim head coach. They pretty much brought him back. He was
He's
with the
cool.
old regime. The reason why I think they put him in place is because they don't want to bring in a good coach with this team. They don't want to make a mistake like the Pistons just made, because the Pistons went and got Monty Williams, and they pretty much paid this man $65 million and fired him. So this man is still getting paid. Whether he has a job next year or not, he's going to make $65 million over the next 3 years.
Can I say something about the coach once you're done?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I think the interim head coach I think they just brought him back for now, just to kind of sort of until they get the teams together where they feel as though they're going to start competing a lot more to try to get into a playoff spot. I'm not. I mean, they are. I think they're going to be one of the worst teams. I don't know about the worst team because you still got Detroit out there. You still got the Hornets. You still got a couple other teams that really haven't improved that much.
Charlotte's going to be good this year. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I second that.
The reason why I say Charlotte, because Charlotte always has injuries, which allows them to be bad. So the thing is, for me, it's about health. It's not about talent. I think Charlotte has the talent. It's just
wait. But what do you think about LaMelo though?
LaMelo's great. I think LaMelo's really good. It's just that he got to be healthy. If he ain't healthy, then this
LaMelo, LaMelo's a superstar in this league if healthy. I'm just saying, bro.
He can be a superstar.
And Bam's not.
You can't call him a superstar.
Bam ain't no fucking superstar, dog.
I'm not doing that.
You said LaMelo's a superstar and not Bam? What?
No superstar, bro.
I'll tell you what. If the Heat, this is my, and y'all had to say something about the coach, but just my tidbit. If the Heat were stupid enough to put Bam on the trading block, they would get phone calls to the phone break. I'm telling you that right now. So if he ain't no superstar, but they would get probably 5 niggas and 3 draft picks off of him alone.
I need 10 first-round picks.
Okay, let's put him.
Remember when Dame said that he wanted to come to Miami, Portland was trying to say, okay, well, we need Bam. And Pat was like, no, you're not getting Bam. No, he wants to play with Bam. What's the point of us giving you Bam and he wants to play with Bam?
I would have pulled that trade off.
Stop trolling.
Kick him off the screen, man. Kick him off the screen. Oh my God.
You're telling me, yo, Yarby, go though.
All I was gonna say was about the coach, Brian Keefe. He was a 16-year assistant coach, and he was very influential in the development of KD, guys on the Brooklyn squad as well. Let me look, LA as well. So he's been around, and I think the Wizards are prioritizing development. That's the thing. You look at their roster; it's a bunch of young guys. You have some fringe veterans, some bad contracts, which is the Oklahoma City model, and that's a good thing. So just, in a couple of years, in 3 or 4 years, you're probably going to be looking at, their 18, 19-year-old prospects like, whoa, okay, these are some elite two-way players, not necessarily superstars, but the building blocks to, a great franchise.
Hey, Chris, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think that Brandon Ingram is worth $100 million?
That's $100 million. $100 million, yeah. $200 million, no. So, and I think that's kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what's going on with the New Orleans thing.
I mean, sure, if Tyler Hero worth 120 million, then Brandon Ingram is.
But Brandon wants 200.
Yeah, because I think 200 million, that should be more so reserved for like the really high upper tier guys, right? And I mean, I think Ingram is really good, but I don't think he's at that level, because once you do that, then you're basically capped at like, all right, so Brandon Ingram kind of has to be your second best player. And I don't know if he can be the second best player on a championship team. He can be the second best player on a good team, but not a championship team. And if you're in New Orleans, I think you're probably kind of banking around, hey, let's see what we can do. If it's Zion, maybe we move Ingram for a center or whatever, but it doesn't really seem like the trade market's materialized for that.
I think Brandon Ingram a top 5 player.
What the
Okay.
Yo, I'm being dead serious though. Like, what y'all don't think he's a top 5 player, bro?
He's a bucket, but he's not top 5.
Yeah, he's good, but he's not a top 5 player.
Bro, he a top 5 player. He better than Luka. He better than Shea. He better than Curry.
Nah, you're tripping.
He better than all them players, bro.
Trolling.
Yo, he might be better than the GOAT.
You funny, bro.
Oh no, man. I'm just saying, dog. Let me
200 million is generational money, man. I don't know if you just throw that around. I ain't gonna lie to you, and I don't want to get to the business side of basketball, but like that apron joint. First off, CJ McCollum on site with you, brother. Like when I see you, bro, we scrapping, we throwing hands.
Yeah.
Like,
It's bad.
we're fighting, bro. Them two knuckleheads, vice and president, went up there and they let the owners muck this thing up, bro. There's no way you should have been able to agree to this without reading the terms and conditions properly. Like, this was the one time to actually read the terms and conditions and not sign off on this thing without reading. Because to me, one, the reason that free agency has been so lame is teams are scared of the second apron. Like, it's almost like they would lose their entire franchise. Not that that's the case, but that's what it looks like. That they would lose their entire franchise if they cross over into the second apron. Now, I'm seeing some of the consequences from going over into the second apron. You losing draft picks. They're going to tax you a heavy fine. It's a whole bunch. I'm like, yo, so these Negroes didn't read? Like, nobody
No,
has
bro.
like reading comprehension?
Why do you, bro? Like, think about it. Tyus Jones isn't even signed yet. Lonnie Walker is not signed yet. Those are two major guys who they should definitely be on an NBA roster, and they're not. Luke Kennard. These are high-level role players that we're talking about here, and it's like what you said. They clearly didn't read that new CBA. Go ask Caleb Martin.
And
These people probably want starter money, but
it's
ain't
rough.
out there.
Caleb Martin wanted $15 million per. Are you
It
crazy?
ain't out there. It ain't
Adam
out there.
Silver, this is also Adam Silver's fault. All right. I didn't like Dave Stern that much either. But he wasn't doing this. And I know, he answered some questions in the interview, just was like, oh man, I think it's good for the league to kind of, make everybody competitive. Man, I ain't never heard a human being in real life say some Syndrome from Incredibles type garbage like that in my ever in my life. If everyone's super, nobody is. Man, you don't get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
And it gives certain owners
able to
an
go where they
excuse.
want.
It gives certain owners an excuse to not want to spend, and then the ones that are willing to spend now they can't spend because they basically have to put a hard cap on what they can do. And like a team like Boston, like they may have to break that up like 3-4 years from now, or maybe sooner or whatever. Once
They're
that
selling the
second apron
team.
comes in. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
they already are
They're selling the team.
Right.
Imagine winning a championship and selling a team afterwards.
Yeah, a team like Phoenix is already in the second apron now with the roster they have, so that means that they can't really make their team that much better.
With fraudulent Bradley Beal.
Bro, I'm gonna be
Oh
honest
my
with you.
goodness.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Yo, Phoenix is fucking awful, bro. They fucking suck, bro. They're ass. They're so terrible, dog. Like they're just I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Here's the thing.
Phoenix
They
is a
constructed
first-round
the team well from one perspective and then kind of like dropped off. It's like an unfinished artwork. Like they had it going and then the bench just kind of fell off a cliff. I don't know what they were thinking. Bradley Beal got back problems because he old as hell.
He's been having back problems for years. It doesn't even
years,
make sense.
man.
The Beal move was
It's always something with him. It was always something with him.
Yo, Dave,
and I remember Miami Heat, they wanted Beal. I know y'all are glad y'all don't have Beal. I remember that whole saga.
Thank God.
Oh my God.
Hey, wait, Martel. But think about it though. I know you remember Heat fans was all in their feelings, crying, giving Kleenex money, buying up them damn tissues, talking about some, oh, we don't have Bradley Beal. Oh, man, shut up.
That's because they just wanted something new, which I don't blame Miami Heat fans, but you just can't make a move just to make a move.
Getting something new just to get something new is stupid.
When Bradley Beal was rotting in, bro, he was rotting in listen, he should have let him, Kemba, they all should have left their teams a lot sooner than they did, and Dame as well. They should have left their teams a lot sooner than they did.
Yeah. Man, Dame with that get it out the mud, talking about someone to lock it down. Man, they
No, but look, they actually backstabbed him.
That's what I'm saying.
They told Dame that they were going to get a proper team around him. They just never did. Instead, they wanted to give Jeremy Grant $200 million.
Yeah.
They gave Jeremy Grant like $150, $170 million instead.
Every team has a ceiling where there's certain types of moves where it doesn't matter what you do, you can't get much better. But any team can do anything that can make them immediately worse.
That's the craziest.
Exactly.
That's the craziest. That is the epitome and the essence of the CBA right now.
Yep.
You can get worse. You can't get better. You can get worse. The fact that the free agents you mentioned are not on somebody's team right now means that Adam Silver messed up, bro. I'm sorry. The NBA's player association fell asleep at the wheel and crashed. This is
Gary Trent Jr. is making the same amount of money as Thomas Bryant. Think about that. Gary Trent Jr. is 25 years old, bro. Gary Trent Jr. is one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA.
He's making the same amount of money as like Cam Reddish.
He had to take the vet minimum with Milwaukee. That should tell you enough. Thomas Bryant and Drew Smith.
I'm gonna be
Gary Trent Jr. Think about this,
CJ
guys.
McCollum, when I catch you, bro. When I catch you, bro.
Gary Trent Jr. and Drew Smith are making the same amount of money in the NBA. Like, that should tell you enough about the CBA.
Drew Smith not even making money, bro.
But I'm gonna be honest with
He
you.
making a good, 900,000.
Yo, let me ask y'all something. Does Isaiah Stevens get on the 2-way for Miami?
Yes, immediately.
I think he should. I don't know if he does,
Listen,
but
okay,
I think he
Smith
should.
is on the
I think
roster.
we should.
I think
though,
without
bro.
question it should be Keyshawn and Isaiah Stevens.
But look, though, we think we should, though. Does the front office do it? Is my question.
Listen to me. If Drew
Yes,
Smith
the
is
most
on this
minutes played.
roster, if Drew Smith is on this roster come
I
season,
don't.
and Isaiah Stevens is
I
not,
don't
he
know.
goes to some other team and averages 20 assists, me and Pat gonna have to meet. I'm gonna drive right down to Biscayne. I'm gonna go up the stairs, and we gonna scrap. Old man, you getting put an ankle on. There's no reason Drew Smith should be on this roster.
Nah, I ain't
Come
gonna
to
lie. Spo needs to be putting the ankle headlock too. Talking about the rotation.
No,
he did-
because
No,
Trent. The problem is we paid the wrong guys too
Nah,
much money,
facts.
bro. We
Nah,
paid the
Spo-
wrong
Spo was
guys too
horrible
much
last
money.
year.
That
Nah,
had nothing
Giving
to do
Tyler
with
He did the
Smith,
best he
Tyler-
could with what he was given, bro.
Yeah.
Spo, nah, bro. Spo's
Spo has
rotations were
Max
horrible.
Strus and Gabe Vincent and Mo Harkless.
Bro, what are we talking about? Yo, how
Mo
let me ask you a question.
Harkless.
Let me ask you a question. How can you defend Spo if he's playing Patty Mills over DeLon Wright?
No, I agree with that, but you were talking about people getting paid. That's on the front
No,
office. That's
no,
on
no,
Pat
I'm
and
asking-
Nick.
Mo Harkless is
asking-
crazy, bro. Mo
How
Harkless is
you-
crazy. I'm not
Yeah,
letting it
that's
slide.
crazy, man.
Jason
Mo
Tatum
Harkless
wouldn't do
is
that with
crazy.
Mo Harkless. I'll tell you that right now.
Mo Harkless, bro, he's
How-
not even in the league no more.
Nah, facts. But how are you not playing Thomas Bryant as backup big to get Bam in the regular season?
I
Like-
agree.
He has
I
no
agree with that.
defense.
Yeah, but it's the regular season though, bro. Like you got to give Bam a rest. That's why he tires out in the postseason.
Yeah.
Maybe it might have been better just not to sign Thomas Bryant.
Well, I mean,
Well,
say
with
that
that
too.
too.
I mean, you can do that too.
With that too.
The money they gave him, they could have gave to somebody else at the
Mhm.
same. Like,
Yeah.
No,
if
the
you want a
problem
backup
is
big, get another
no,
backup
but the problem
big.
is he was gonna
Shoot, I
opt
would
in
have.
anyway.
I would have rather us go sign Boogie Cousins than sign freaking Thomas Bryant.
Ah, you're trolling.
But Thomas Bryant was gonna opt in regardless, so he opted out to save the Miami Heat more money. So obviously they can't say, you know what, even though you opted out and we said that we were gonna take you back, psych. They can't do that.
Cool
Why
guy.
not? I'd have did it. I'd have been like, psych. Man,
No, you can't.
cool guy, but no beef to him. But he
No
knew he
hard
wasn't getting
feelings,
paid
but
nowhere else.
we
He knew
don't
he wasn't
need
getting
you.
paid nowhere else. He knew he wasn't
Because
getting
you
paid
gave him
nowhere
a
else.
2-year deal, right?
I
Yeah,
think so,
it's like 1.5, I think.
Yeah.
Yo.
So like if that's what you had to do to convince him to come here, is there another team that you're competing against to get Thomas Bryant services? Like I just feel like you didn't
Thomas
have to do that.
The Lakers need him.
What? Competing to get Thomas Bryant services.
We already had him.
I'm not gonna lie.
right there.
That's scary. If the league is
Yo, why
league is fighting over Thomas Bryant,
Yo,
we
y'all
may need to
bashing
stop
Thomas
watching
Bryant,
basketball,
bro. He's
bro.
not that bad, bro.
No,
Y'all-
but
He's bad,
he's an energy
bro.
guy.
Nah, he ain't
But
that bad.
he
Bad.
makes
We
some
all have
really-
experience with him on our teams, bro. He was on
Alright.
Washington. He was on
Yeah,
LA.
Russ
He
made
was
him
on the
look
Heat.
alright. What you mean? Russ made him look alright, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, that might be a
Credit
Russ thing,
Russ.
not a Thomas Bryant thing.
Credit-
Yeah, exactly.
Credit
That's a
Russ,
Russ
man.
thing.
I knew we were at
Thomas
I knew we
Bryant
were in a
ain't doing
bad
nothing, man.
I knew we were a bad way in the season when you had Thomas Bryant taking threes from the top of the
Oh, my
Nah,
God.
but look, though, but nah. Martel though, but be honest though, bro. When we seen Thomas Bryant, we was excited because bro, we had Dwayne Dedman and Cody Zeller.
Oh
bro.
nah, Dwayne Dedman is crazy.
Like
That's
come on.
once
nasty
again,
work.
do
Oh my
you
God.
see what Jimmy Butler had? Cody Zeller?
Bro, these rotations
I'm
are
not-
trash.
I'm not gonna-
right?
I'm not
Cody Zeller. Oh my god, bro.
In the finals, Jimmy Butler's going in the
I think
finals
I'm
for
not-
Cody Zeller.
I think I might have been. I was so upset at Dwayne Dedman when he got mad at the ref and turned the ball over, bro. Oh my god, I was so pissed. I
Him
was
too. He felt so
so
comfortable
pissed off,
shooting
bro.
threes. Dwayne Dedman. We got that man off his couch.
Man, we got Cody Zeller off his couch. They say he was playing at LA Fitness.
Hey,
Yeah.
at least it's not Todd Gibson level type shit. He says the Knicks coach Tibbs, he just calls them up whenever. Yo, we need you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's in Charlotte now.
Yeah, he's in Charlotte. Yeah. Yo,
I
y'all
wish
play.
Taj were retired.
Nah, yo, y'all
D
play.
Wade, and LeBron were battling that man in the conference finals. Go hang it up, bro. Go hang it up. Go hang them sneakers up. Don't pick up a basketball.
That man like man, Braun still playing. I could play too.
Nah, there's differences to this.
Yo,
man.
When I seen Tristan Thompson in the playoffs, bro, I said, "What the fuck?" Hey, why are you still in the league, bro? Go back on first take, bro.
Might be a locker
First
room
day,
guy.
man, running around with the Kardashians.
You might be a
Why
locker
did they
room
call
guy.
him? Why did they call him? Get him out the league, bro. Get him out the league.
Bro, I remember when they showed his highlights of him practicing before the game, and he was missing
Breaking.
every shot. Oh my gosh!
Nah,
I said,
And
"Wow, this
Tyus
man
Jones can't get a job, bro. Think about that. Lonnie Walker can't get a job.
Yo, how much you want to bet Tyus Jones somehow lands on LA this year, bro? On some bold crap.
I'm gonna be very upset. He ends up. How do the Lakers still have money? Somebody want to answer that question? How
They
do the Lakers
don't.
still
What
have
do you
money?
mean? That's why they have no moves.
They
They
don't.
don't
All
have
they
any
have is
money.
they only
Nah,
have
they-
like 2.2 million.
Nah, they don't
There's
got
45,000 below the second apron.
the Lakers.
Yeah.
The Lakers figure a way to get a player at the trade deadline. Watch, I'm telling you.
No,
They do it
LeBron
every
should have took that
year.
pay cut. LeBron
If
should have took the pay
that
cut.
happens, that means D'Lo is going to be the one that's getting traded.
Well, he needs to be traded.
His value is not where it needs to be right now. His value
All
is
right,
low.
now I got a good question for y'all. Who has higher value, D'Lo or Tyler Hero?
Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero for sure.
Tyler Hero, which is
Yeah,
hilarious to
because
say
he has that
because
upside
nobody
at
wants him
what,
right
24?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't know. I might be rolling with Trent. I think
Yeah.
D'Lo might get the higher
No,
value.
I think the thing with D'Lo is he's got 1 year left. So it's like if
Fair.
a team doesn't want him, they could just either buy him out or just let him just sit there until the year's over. But Hero still has,
But
you
they're
know,
not
however
gonna-
many years. he's
They're
got
not
left.
going to buy him out because of that. They're not going to buy him out because of his money.
But
They
yeah,
don't want to pay him. They don't want to buy him out with that money.
he's on an expiring deal, right?
Yeah.
1 year, 18 million, I think.
Yeah. So
Man, we gave Tyler Dwayne Wade money. I'm pissed.
Yeah, D'Lo has more value right now for sure because of that expiring deal.
I can't believe we gave Tyler Hero Dwayne Wade money.
Like I can't wait. Why we give Duncan 80 million or something? Like what?
That's what I was saying earlier.
They said he was shooting 50% for the season on three. I think they got like
I don't care if he was
diluted.
shooting 100.
Nigga, I don't care
Yeah,
if he's 100.
Yeah, I think they paid him based off his postseason run.
You can't do that.
Shooters are a premium in the league, so I guess from one perspective, they paying him because he shoots the ball. It's hard to find niggas who know how to shoot the ball.
Not really. Look at Gary Trent. He had to take that vet minimum, bro. Gary Trent's 25 years old. Bro.
Fell down, bro. I feel like y'all didn't watch Gary Trent. He fell apart in Toronto, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
That's what I'm
That's
shaking my
because
head.
he's the only shooter in Toronto. He has to shoot everything. No one on that team
That
can
proves
shoot.
my point. That proves my point. It's hard to find folks who can shoot the ball and shoot it consistently.
Gary Trent was the only shooter on that roster.
Well,
Who's
that's
gonna
that
be
just.
shooting? Who's gonna be shooting the ball at that? Scotty Barnes?
Do you want Scotty Barnes shooting threes?
Yo, what about Emmanuel?
No.
What you mean?
No, but they got quickly like.
You want
mid-season,
Grady?
though,
I'm not saying
or
his
closer to
last
the
name.
end.
You want Grady to shoot
Yeah,
threes?
I'm about to say, please don't say that last name.
Yeah, I
Please
want
don't.
Grady. I want Grady to shoot.
Man, bro, Grady looks a little bit mid to me. We'll see.
Not everybody could be a stretch five.
Tyler, what you talking about? Watch, bro.
Not everybody could be a stretch five. I wish some of these guys would have a post-up game. Get in the paint. Stop
But
shooting
guys,
threes.
before we close, can everyone just shout out their channel real quick? Once again, remember, Bam Adebayo, he is a superstar, Hall of Famer. But can everyone else, just shout out their channel real quick before we close?
Go first.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is Christopher and Yarby of the Off Ball Takes podcast. We do general NBA talk, pretty much Mondays and Fridays. We do live streams sometimes as well. So, again, subscribe to us, like our videos. So we appreciate all that.
Tangible IQ Hoops. generally do general basketball. Trying to go on the in-depth, kind of get into like the psyche and the physiological stuff on the court and things of that nature, how it impacts play, and kind of breaking down offenses, defenses, why they work. Taking it away from the greatest of all time conversation. We can't go in a time machine, so I really don't care about those conversations at all. And talking about what the league looks like now versus what it looked like before, and why that's an impact on why the league is the way it is now. I think it's gotten closer to soccer than it has been to basketball, but that goes without saying. Anyway, intangible IQs.
Me, Dave from Dave's Doghouse. You can search Dave's Doghouse on YouTube. I'm also on a show with two other guys called Refuse to Lose Sports. Again, this is the logo. So if you look for that, you put in Refuse to Lose exactly how it's spelled, you'll find us there. We pretty much do a show Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. My show is mostly it's once a week, either every Wednesday or every Friday.
Yo, y'all know what it is, man. I do it all, man. All right. Why everybody gotta laugh when I talk, huh? Why everybody gotta laugh when I talk, man? And I'm off
I think you know why, Trent.
but on some real shit though, I cover the Miami Heat. Give me the 5K. I cover Top Notch. Give me the 15K. Go subscribe to my other YouTube channel. Give me the 500. Go follow my Instagram. Go follow my TikTok. We do it all over here, man. You know what I mean? And I'm a troll, bro. I'm a comic. All right. Yeah, you gotta get the supporters going and rally up, man. And
we can tell. We can tell you're a troll.
Yeah, but yeah,
you did that a few times tonight.
Show today. I needed Unc in the show. Y'all missed it. He said Giannis is not a top 5 player in the league. He said it.
Who?
Big Tone. He said Giannis ain't good. He ain't a top 5 player.
When did he say this? Where was I?
Bro, you wasn't there. He said Giannis ain't a top 5 player, bro. I said, bro, what is going on?
Look, we're going to bring him on the stream tomorrow so that he can answer for his crimes. Guys, don't forget to go to all their channels, hit that subscribe button, and also, too, I don't know if you guys saw the GOAT tonight. She played Caitlin Clark in her first All-Star game.
Here we go. This guy.